CoCoTALK is an unscripted live broadcast. Anything can and will happen. The views and opinions expressed by members of the panel and the live audience are their own and not necessarily those of the CoCoTALK show, its sponsors, affiliates, or subsidiaries. Open minds encouraged, sense of humor recommended. If any off-color comments were made, we're sorry.
Hi, this is Dale Lear, designer of TRS-80 Color Baseball, and you're listening to CoCoTALK.
This is CoCoTALK, the world's leading live talk show featuring the Tandy Color computer. It's time to drop your socks and grab your real-time clocks, and let's rock.
CoCoTALK is rocking the 8-bit world, keeping the Tandy flame alive. We may be mocked, but we'll never stop, cause CoCoTALK is rocking the 8-bit world.
All right, everybody, we are here with episode 113 of CoCoTALK Live, where we are now even liver than ever because this is for the first time being broadcast as a live audio podcast on Spreaker.
CoCoTALK is rocking the 8-bit world, keeping the Tandy flame alive. We may be mocked, but we'll never stop, cause CoCoTALK is rocking the 8-bit world.
All right, and we are here. We are live. We are liver than ever. CoCoTALK has always been live. CoCoTALK has been innovative in the fact that it has been the first and only live talk show dedicated to the Tandy Color computer. How do we get even better? Well, we get even better by getting even more liver. So now we're not only streaming live on YouTube and Facebook, we're streaming live on fricking, where the frick are we fricking streaming live? We're streaming live on our Twitter page. So we're streaming live on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. We're now also streaming live for the first time ever as a live audio podcast on Spreaker. So Spreaker is a podcasting network, and we're there. We're on that thing. And on that thing, you can now listen to the show live. So for those of you who maybe have a bandwidth challenge, or you're at work, or you're driving, and you want to experience the show somehow, well, now you can experience it live and audibly. And it's also interactive. So where you're listening live, like Nick Marota's there. Nick Marota says, hello, chat room. So Nick Marota's in the live chat on Spreaker. So not only is it a live audio stream, but it's an interactive live audio stream. And that's all I have to say about that. Obviously, it's our first time doing it. There may be a glitch or two. There may be a challenge or two along the way, and we'll fix them as always. So we got, I'm not sure if it's going to be a great show, but we've got a show in store for you today.
Way to upsell it, Steve.
Yes, yes, yes. And on our panel, we have our usual cast of characters. Some of them we're fond of, others, but in no particular order, we've got Mr. Mark Bosley in the house. Good afternoon,
Hello.
Mark.
Hi, everybody. How's it going?
Excellent. Thank you for asking. From Canada, we've got L. Curtis Boyle. Good day and hello. And
hello, everyone. I'm just here to keep the Canadian content quota up. So,
all right. And we also have from Canada, Nick Marota. How you doing, Nick?
Good day. Thank you. I'm doing great.
All right. We've got from Tandy Color Computer, from TDP Electronics, and the Tandy Shack. We've got Terry Steggy in the house.
Morning, everybody.
All right.
Good afternoon. Sorry.
And Rob Inman says Spreaker is replaced by Streaker by autocorrect. Down under, we've got David O'Connor.
Hello, everybody. Good to be here again for another episode of Experiments.
It's like a science. It's like going to science class all the time, right?
Like a poorly designed science project. That's
Yes.
113th time is the charm.
from Ron's Garage. This guy has more Facebook channels than we've got on Discord. Ron Delvo!
Hey, what's
That's saying
happening?
something too.
What's the matter,
Yes.
you?
Hey, what's the matter, you?
Hey,
I'm sure he's going to have a new stack of awesome collections to show off today. This is the guy who's got what some people might call a problem on eBay. But Brian Weasler's in the house. How are you?
Good. Hello, everybody. I'm a coconut.
Oh, yes, you are. And we are proud of that. Fly your cocoa colors and fly them proud. We've also got with us, look at the cup. Look at that shameful plug. I approve. Mr. James Diffendaffer's with us. Hello, James.
Hello, Stevie. Are you sure it shouldn't be unusual cast of characters?
Unusual. And I must say, James, you sound very clear today.
Yes, and thank you for the new headset.
Well, thank our patrons because we do have patronage and we do have sponsors, and so we have a budget. The budget does not go into any of the quality of the show itself, but it is helping James Diffendaffer sound loud and clear. Yes, Curtis.
I wanted to ask James here with his new headset here. Is it going to be able to pick up the train better?
We have yet to find out, but I have a mute button on the cable, so I can always turn it off at any time.
Okay.
I can also mute you guys too. So.
Oh, neat.
Hey, I want one of those headsets.
I want one with a built-in filter that just mutes David Ladd. Speaking of which, we've got the guy who says,
"Oh, I'm much happier breaking stuff."
It's Sir David Ladd. Welcome, David.
Why, thank you, Stevie, and hello, everyone! Is everybody ready for yet another excellent show? I certainly hope so. Today, we're going to have a great and wonderful experience with everyone. So let's get this show on the road. Is that right, Stevie? We're going to get...
It's absolutely right. Yes. Thank you, David. Sorry to cut you off.
Turning the enthusiasm up to 11.
Yes. And the Thunder from Down Under himself, maker of cheap, crappy, semi-graphic knockoff games. It is none other than Nick Marentes.
G'day, everyone. Yep, I'm here to bring us back down to earth after that David Ladd interview.
And last but certainly not least, now joining us from somewhere. Look in your rearview mirror, Grant Leedy. On the road, chasing storms, chasing God knows what else. It's Grant Leedy, the internet's own Grant Leedy. Hello, Grant.
Hello, how's it going, everybody?
We're doing fine.
Hey,
say hi to the folks on Spreaker, too. Grant, we are live. We are live audio broadcasting on Spreaker.
Hello, everybody on Spreaker.
Hello.
Eric Canales says I'm ready. Oh. All right, so we've just
optional on Streaker.
Clothing optional on Streaker. Yes, yes. So that's our introductions, and unfortunately, that's all the show we got for you, folks. So goodbye. We'll see you next week. What? Cue outro.
I'm sure Jim Brain would consider that a massive improvement.
Yes.
That's a major core dump. The whole lot got dumped.
Look at that. So
does everybody have their icon, their little
no, is that what that was?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's when I was really confused. I saw the message that said get your Coco mouse pointer, and I thought it meant a mouse pointer that would run on the actual Raspberry Pi itself. So this is one that actually runs on a real, like on Windows.
On Windows, yeah.
So it's a Windows mouse pointer. Mm-hmm. That is really cool, Ron Delvo. Yep. And Grant Leedy, if you could, keep your filing down to a minimum. We hear a lot of noise coming from you right now. Here we go. Retro Innovations has just chimed in. He says, like the incoherent warbling of a stupidly sloshed patron at Bob's Bait and Bar on karaoke night, it's CoCoTALK. Thank you very much for that introduction, Retro Innovations.
This is the guy that wants to host the show sometime.
So
insult to Bob's Bait and Bar.
Free bird.
Sounds like a description of our attempts to get audio streaming going that time, Stevie.
Yeah. So, and with us in the live chat, let's recognize everyone except for Retro Innovations and Jim Brain. But Mark B was here. Rob Inman is here. James Jones says, does it start at 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock? I'm seeing live in 3 hours. I don't know, James Jones. I apologize for that. Mark B., Rob Inman, James Jones says, nice ukulele work. Sean Ernst is here. Hey, Sean, how are you? Everybody say hi to Sean and to James and to Rob Inman. Matchy is here. Hey, Matchy. Terry Steggy is here in the live chat. Curtis Boyle's in the live chat. Eric Canales is here. Dave's Hobbies is here. Retro Innovations. And live on Spreaker right now, Nick Marotta is there hanging out. So is Terry Steggy, and so is Nick Marotta. So you can chat with us live on Spreaker. If you're on the road somewhere or somewhere where YouTube is not practical, you can still catch us live and you can still interact with us, just like the folks on YouTube can. There's our introductions. There's our show. Good night. We'll see you next week. How about project updates, acquisitions? Anybody got any?
I have a small one.
Well, listen.
Pause.
Yes,
that's very brave of you.
we're all friends here, Curtis. Tom.
Well, that's what this group's for. We all have the same problem, right?
Let's not be sophomoric here. Let's stay on topic.
Okay, thank you. So we have David Ladd as our moral compass. Amen. Tom C. from Jersey just joined us. Tom C., how you doing? All right, Curtis, tell us about your small one.
Okay, my small update, just to clarify. I've been working on getting the Super Ike icon editor for Nitrous 9 working. It's going to be part of the EOU Beta 5 release, which is still a ways away yet. But I wanted to get that particular program done so I could get some volunteers to help start designing icons for all the VDG-based games that we'll be putting in, like all the Sierra stuff and the Epic stuff, etc. And I finally got it roughly running here about 2 nights ago. So I gave a copy to Rob Inman and Nick Marentes, who both graciously volunteered, been coerced into helping design some of these icons, and they've been banging on the software for a bit. And it seems to be, for the most part, working pretty good. There's a few cosmetic changes they want. But I know Nick's already done his first preliminary icon design on it. And we might show that a little bit later in the show, but that's the update, and that's going to be part of Ease of Use Beta 5.
Excellent, excellent. I would just like to request humbly, whenever you mention Rob Inman's name, you put the proper emphasis on the syllable and refer to him as Rob Inman. Yes. So, very cool. And I gotta say, and of course, this is biased but true. I listened to the replay because we did get some feedback. Last week I streamed for the first time using OBS, so it's new software. I've got to, there's settings we got to play with. So I got some feedback saying, listen, the levels were not good, things were out of balance, some people were low, etc. So I listened to the entire show for quality control, not for narcissistic reasons, and and listening to Rob Inman's, what the hell is that thing called that he did? The
RSB.
RSB. It translated well. It translated to audio pretty well. Just listening to the discussion of what he was doing, I could still kind of follow it. So good job, Rob Inman, on that presentation. And we kind of threw out the word inspirational, and when we referred to that cheap, crappy waterfall game. But I do think that things that we're doing here are inspiring people, because eventually I will probably do something in Nitrous 9, and people like Rob Inman who are paving the way and doing things and getting people excited. Bruce Moore has been working in Nitrous 9 and Basic 09 and hybriding, things with assembly. Yeah, go ahead, Nick Murna.
I'm not ready to talk about it yet, but I've started working on a basic program as well, just from seeing Nick release something. And
yeah, so
wanting to program a little game as well. So
I think the things that are being done by members of the community are inspiring other people. So I just want to say thank you guys for all doing different things and letting us realize other things we can do with the Coco, and spreading your wings.
Case, inspirational does not mean coming up with a brand new idea of a program that's never been done before. It's inspiring you to actually try programming again for the first time in 30 years, or trying something in programming that you haven't done before. The program itself is what we're trying to emphasize.
The thing that got me right back into
going from high-level languages to color basic is like programming for the first time in 30.
Yeah.
Okay,
Completely different.
Yeah,
Because there's
Stevie,
no
we gotta be careful here.
encapsulation of data. There's no like you're back to the global variables and spaghetti way of coding, which is kind of fun still, you know. So
We need to be careful, Stevie, because we don't want to get Rob Ingeman a bigger ego than he already has.
Yes. I'm
Too
not
late.
sure.
I think he has a bigger ego than you do, Stevie.
Well, Curtis has already mentioned he has a small one. I wasn't going to do anything, but since we're confessing, yes, I've got a small one too when it comes to my ego. So,
Yeah, me too. I'm very modest.
So if you experience an ego for more than 4 hours, Rob, so yes, so just so you know, I don't think there's an actual word called liver. So it does look like we're saying that we're liver than ever.
Liver.
And we are getting some comments about liver. Some people say that liver is higher than iron. David's Hobbies says liver is not a word except for food. So you might want to change that to something to more proper English, but screw you. Here's why you're wrong, David.
Liver than ever.
that's
This came
the
up
joke.
before the show.
Yeah.
This came up before the show, and he did it anyway. So
That's right. I was already told
humor.
that. It's humor. That's one of the things we have here.
With a U.
We have humor. It's huge. We got huge amounts of humor on this show here. David Lord
So can I
says,
make an announcement?
you have a little one too?
No, I actually have a big announcement.
Uh-oh.
Let's hear it, David. Let's hear it, Grant Lady.
Well, since I'm in a place right now with good with cell coverage, I thought I would go ahead and make this announcement now. I was on the hotel committee for the Coco Fest for next year, and I am proud to announce that we have officially or will be signing the contract for the new location, and I do have the dates for next year. It will be April 18th and 19th of next year, and it will be at the Holiday Inn Elk Grove Hotel there in Elk Grove, Illinois.
Excellent.
So April 18th and 19th. And this will be a major upgrade to the hotel in our convention center. We won't have to worry about putting a jacket on to go outside. It's all in one big building and everything like that. But those dates are now set in stone and finalized. So.
Okay.
Now, I wanted to ask you something because I think you mentioned it before in private, but just to make it's public. My understanding is that currently, as it currently stands, we are not allowed to play live music, though, right?
I will follow up with Mike on that to see that, but I did see something about we can't have live music or anything like that. But you guys are not that loud, so I wouldn't think it'd be that big of a problem. But
okay, yeah, I'm just hoping if they have a volume restriction, we can definitely turn amps and stuff down. So,
is it a volume restriction or is it a copyright issue? Because I know some venues have laws where they've got to have like an app or amp cost or whatever your equivalent is over there. The licensing companies that license payments to artists sometimes have strongholds on venues, and if the venue doesn't pay a fee, they're not allowed to host anything where music might be performed that's copyright to somebody else.
No, it's a bad music restriction.
That's probably what it is. No, I think it really is because of a noise level. Because unlike the old facility, the convention is going to be held inside the hotel, so you got to be careful not to disturb the other guest inside the building. But I'm sure that's something we'll look into with Mike and get some clarification back on that.
Okay. People might actually want to sleep.
Yeah.
Well, this year we got bopped out of the elevator, and next year we'll be removed from the venue for noise.
So one nice
the year
thing about this,
2025, we'll be playing in a field at some farmer somewhere. It'll be like Woodstock for the cocoa. That's what I'm thinking.
and one nice thing about this facility, we will have shuttle buses that will go to and from the airport to the hotel. So that will be another thing too that people want to take into consideration when making their plans, that they may not have to purchase a rental car on this
Nice.
trip, so.
Nice.
Are we going to have to go to a financing department for our rooms?
Nope, the rooms will be just I think it's about $5 or $10 more than it was last year at $99 a night. So, and I know we have that rate for Friday and Saturday, but I think Mike is working to get that extended as well for Thursday and Sunday nights as well. So you get 4 days instead of 2.
If I go there and drop the name Grant Leedy,
they charge you double. Yeah.
I'll do it.
Is breakfast included? Because we know it's all about the food.
No, unfortunately, it was like breakfast is not included, but I am also on the food committee too, so we might make some concessions on that too. I do know there was a pass that you could purchase for the all-you-can-eat buffet for $10, but there's also food options we're going to be looking into as well. So I'll have more information on that coming up. And that's one of the nice things too. We do have a full-service bar and full-service restaurant in this hotel as well. So
nice.
Well, we are a full-service group, so
very cool.
If there's a full-service bar, I wonder if it would be possible to arrange something that quite often they have, like entertainment in places like that. Maybe there could be an arrangement made to have a jam session in there or something.
Yeah. Do you want them to empty out the bar and lose all their patrons? I don't think so.
Oh yeah.
Curtis and Stevie, they can scare everybody away.
I resemble that remark.
Roger that. So real quick, there's somebody in the live chat, GE Galaxy Emperor, and I believe this is a person who watches some of my live streams when I live stream video games. So I'm not sure how much this guy is trolling in an attempt to have fun or not, but let's not engage in, when I say let's, I'm talking about at least us on the panel. Let's not starting to engage with people who are, I don't know what the heck they're doing. But anyway, so GE Galaxy Explorer, I know who you are. I recognize your name. You've watched me play video games on YouTube. However, just to be safe, I've put him in timeout on YouTube. I don't know how long timeout lasts, so hopefully if he wants to come back, he can. But for the rest of us, unless somebody's being really, really nasty, let's just let them say what they're going to say. That's cool. So this is the same venue, Grant, that VCF Midwest has been at for the past few years. And so we saw last year when you guys were there, you guys streamed some of the showroom, and it's pretty spacious, right? And I know Jim Brain showed off some pictures because he went there and scoped it out too ahead of time. Jim Brain's very active with VCF Midwest. He's kind of a rock star in that venue there. And so he's taken some photographs. So it's much larger. There's thousands of benefits to this venue, right? So this is good news. Good news. Now, do you know what roughly our hotel rate is going to be negotiated? The room rate for the event, is that to be determined, or is that somewhat known?
$99 a night.
$99 a night, which is roughly what it was for the Coco Fest rate, right?
A little bit higher, but not much.
Yeah. I think it was $89 at the other venue. So.
Okay. But there's so many other perks. Like you mentioned, it's a bigger venue. Everything's under the same roof. We don't have to leave to go to the convention. Well, I mean, it wasn't like it was a mile away. It was, it was across the parking lot. But it's all self-contained. There is the ability to get food there. There's alcohol there, which is a plus. And there's free shuttle service, which means you don't have to rent a car. So,
right.
Poof.
There's a Starbucks across the street. There's a Portillo's. There's a block and a half down the street. So we still got access to all of our favorite restaurants and so forth too.
Excellent. And we kind of started a tradition last year where we went to that, what was it called? The wine place that we had our little family dinner at?
Fire and Wine.
Fire and Wine, yeah. So we kind of started a tradition at Fire and Wine for Friday night. So hopefully we can continue that tradition. That was a nice place. The food was great.
I think that should be only about 20-25 minutes of drive from our location.
Yeah. So excellent. Well, thanks for the update.
No problem.
Our rooms at the other place was like $113 a night with all the taxes.
With the taxes and stuff, so it's going to go up about $10 maybe.
That would kind of be good to know if you are trying to plan how much money you need to save up.
Mark B is asking which airport. I'm assuming it's O'Hare.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So from O'Hare.
Which I think most people fly in and out of anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I usually try to go for Midway.
Well, I think their crack is on sale at Midway this week, right? All right. So.
You might not
what
make
is
it
this
out of that
flying thing you guys speak of?
yeah. We got some of the hardcore, like all the Canadians that drive down. They do the whole snowbird migration. They fly south.
All you would be flying people.
Drive south for the winter, right? So, cool stuff.
And one other thing too, we have plenty of room to grow too. So we will not be running out of space in this new location for quite some time.
Excellent.
So that's a good thing. So hopefully we'll be there for several years to come.
And if I remember correctly, Elk Point's actually pretty close to Lombard, so it's actually not that far away from where the old location was, right?
No, about 15 minutes north. It's right by the airport.
Okay.
So if we needed to take a road trip and go by and touch the heron, theoretically we could.
Yes.
Assuming it's unlocked. I don't know if they have that room unlocked when there's not an event there.
You probably have to do that on Friday
Okay.
during business hours, I would assume. So, but yeah, I think everybody will be very happy at the new location, and I think it's a major upgrade from where we've been for the last few years. And I think we'll have a lot of good times.
Cool. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
What is it? 10 months to go until that happens. I might even maybe be able to get a chance to have my first visit to the United States from Australia. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, see if you can put Nick marionettes in your suitcase and bring him with you.
Yeah.
Speaking of Nick Marentes, actually, I do have a little bit of an acquisition here. It's a software acquisition. I haven't had a chance to play around with it yet, though. I've had a really flat-out busy week, but I bought a copy of Nick's Popstar Pilot and got the bonus game pack with it. So I've got a few pretty cool little disk images there to stick onto my SDC.
Nice.
And have a play around with on the Coco now that it's got 2 meg of RAM. See how it all works and see what all the hype's about with Popstar Pilot. I'm looking forward to it.
And for anyone that doesn't know, I have the whole thing, the whole Popstar Pilot and bonus games thing available for $10 US at the moment. So great price.
As a digital
bargain at double the price.
That's right. And at that price, it doesn't matter if the games are crap.
How much for more than one level on Popstar Pilot, though?
No, that'll be another 25.
Okay.
So that is that's great. Thanks for that update, Grant Leedy, on Coco Fest. We're all looking forward to that. So Curtis had a small update. Grant has an update. Anybody else have a project update or acquisition? Terry Steggy is raising his hand. Terry Steggy.
I'm going to blame Nick for his software too. I bought another one of these to try, see if I can run his game with that on Waterfall, actually. So, and then I have to show off my Father's Day gift. One of them. It's a metal sign.
Oh wow, that's the ad, the magazine ad, huh?
Yeah, the Isaac Asimov one.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then I also got.
Where'd you get that done?
That's from a Radio Shack store, was it?
Actually, let me show it back again. Sorry.
Was that from a Radio Shack store? Was it? Or
it was from the catalog.
Yeah, I know the pictures from the catalog, but the actual sign, was that from a Radio Shack store or was it just?
I'm not sure where they got it from.
I assume they had it made like with the image, so I was wondering.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah, I just thought that was pretty cool.
That is cool.
Just a metal sign.
Obviously, understand you well.
Yeah, they do. They know I have a problem.
Knowing is half the battle.
Okay, so what do we got there? That's Springster and Downland.
Yeah. I thought they had different labels. I hadn't seen that label. My other
Downland
copy
has 2 labels depending on which version you get. That one's probably the 1.1 one that works properly on the Coco 3. The original 1.0 did not.
Yep, I think you're right, Curtis. I've got both versions. I just thought those labels looked kind of different and cool. I hadn't seen them before. So anyway, that's all I've got.
Neat. Thank you for sharing. So yeah, I just want to say right now, we've got 23 people watching us live on YouTube. There are 13 of us in a panel, so that means there's at least 10 people who aren't us who are watching us right now. And I want to you 10 people, I want to say this. I want to say
thank you. Yes, you're too kind, and thank you.
Yes, thank you for tuning in every week and being here. It helps motivate me to want to do the show when people enjoy the show, and my friends get together and we just hang out here and shoot the Coco shite together.
And also, we're sorry.
We're sorry, yes. And Brian Weasler is raising his hand very politely, I must add. Brian Weasler, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you. I got a couple items here I'd like to share. I picked up this manual for the CGP 220.
Okay.
It was that color printer that was available. It was kind of an inkjet type printer.
Yeah, color inkjet made by Canon, sold by Tandy. Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually had one of these back in the day, and I don't know where it ever went. If got misplaced during a move or something like that. But I picked up the manual, and I'm keeping my eyes open for one of these printers. I'd really like to get one again, but they just don't come up very often. So, but I thought I'd at least grab the manual. That was kind of.
Is that a dot matrix color?
No, it's an inkjet.
It's like an inkjet printer. It actually has the 4 colors: black, cyan, yellow, and magenta.
So actually spraying ink, not the pens like the plotter.
Yep.
Yeah, it sprays ink. It's actually driven by 6809 too.
Huh.
Yeah, it sprays ink there. It has 2 ink packs. One is just black, and then the other cartridge has three bladders in it that have the 3 colors.
Yeah, okay. It has a little lever you have to pump it when you first turn it on to get the ink flowing smoothly.
Yeah, to kind of prime it a little bit. Yeah, I remember that.
I got one.
You have one?
Yep.
Wow. Jealous. So, and then I also picked up a couple cartridges. I got these 2 from a gentleman there, Spider Side.
Spider Side.
Yep. And then he was also had a CoCoMax.
Ah, look at that.
So
cool.
got one of those.
That's
and
got
then,
a high-res joystick interface on it, huh?
Yep.
Won't work on the 3.
Okay, will not work on the 3. Okay.
Well, on the your
is it with the multi-pack?
MPI.
Yeah, so it won't work on a Coco 3 if a multi-pack, but it would work direct.
Works direct. Okay.
So would it work with the Y cable? Do you know, Ron?
I don't know. All I know is that the upgraded
Like Mark
multi-pack
Dio,
will work.
he's a drama king. We're not putting him on.
Okay. I'll have to try it out and play with it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then there was a guy that had a Coco 2 with some game cartridges. And so I, like a lot of times what I do is I'll drop them a little message and see if they want to sell the cartridges separately. And he said he wanted to sell it as a whole pack, and it never sold. So before he reposted, he reached back out to me and said that he would sell them. So I went ahead and picked up these 5 cartridges from a guy, one of which was another
Coco Max.
Well, you know that'll work with the Coco 2.
Yeah, okay. And then some color script sit.
Script sit. Yeah, I always have to be careful when I say script sit because sometimes I want to drop an H in there.
I don't after school.
Color script sit. 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 Okay.
And then also we had some had a
Wildcatting. Yes. Yeah.
So that's one I've had before or ever played. So I'll check that one out. And then some clowns and
balloons. Hey.
So that was one there. And another one I've been wanting to get for a while. I wish I had it in a box though, but Demolition Derby.
Demolition Derby. Nice.
Cool. Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah. So that's what I got to share today.
Very cool. So every week you have something new and exciting to share with us. I want to say hi to a few people that just chimed in the live chat too. So Sixy is out there. That's Karen Anscombe, creator of Xroar, an excellent emulator for the Color computer and the Dragon computer. Hello, Sixy. Moat58 is out there. Hello, Moat58. Rob Inman is out there. Ken Reichert has joined us. Ken says Maximum Coco Max. Sixy says Color Scriptsit was actually good. But
Super Scriptsit.
Super Scriptsit was actually good, but for a different platform, of course. Okay. Ken Reichert says Color Scriptsit almost as good as Audio Spectrum Analyzer. and Qui-Gon has just joined us. Hello, Qui-Gon. Very cool. Thanks, guys, for being here. So, and we've just been joined by Mark D. Overholzer. Hello, Mark. Are you able to talk, Mark? Are you?
I should be able to. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Hello. Welcome to the program, Mark D. Overholzer.
Thank you. I'm out camping, but at the moment I'm hanging out at a local grocery store that has Wi-Fi.
Oh, neat. Neat.
A safe zone.
Yes, safe zone.
Welcome to the program, Mark. Do you have anything to share with us other than your incredibly dapper shirt you're wearing there?
No, not this night.
Where are you camping at? Are you able to disclose the location, or is this top secret? Or
Yeah, it's called Schwartz Park. It's near a reservoir called Dorena Lake.
And what city, state?
City is Cottage Grove, and the state is Oregon.
Oregon. Have you seen the Oregon Trail while you're there?
Numerous times.
And have you, by any chance, gotten at least a mild case of dysentery?
Nope, never have for that.
Okay, well, that's good. Keep that up.
Thank you.
All right, so Brian Weezer has done some more show and tell with us, always making us jealous. Anybody else have any project updates or acquisitions or things they'd like to share with the group? Going once, going twice. Would you like to share your cat with us, David O'Connor?
Yeah, he's purring.
He has got quite the mane on him. He is one fluffy kitty, huh?
He's actually his breed is a Maine Coon.
Yeah.
He's a very, very large cat. He'll be 16 years old in September.
God bless him.
So yeah, he's getting on. He's my faithful Coco cat. Always wants to be the center of attention.
Absolutely, and they should be. And we've also been joined by Rob Inman. Rob Inman, welcome to the program.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning to you. I don't know if you heard my compliment, but your RSB segment played well on audio, and I enjoyed listening to it.
Oh, why, thank you.
Yes, yes. But I have been warned that that might help your ego. So hopefully your ego is manageable today.
Oh, it's growing.
Wow. All right. So here's what we're going to do, boys and girls. I'm going to thank our patrons. I'm going to show you the latest segment and a new little piece that we have that is called, what was it called? Coco Thoughts? What was our new segment called? It is called
Coco Thoughts, wasn't it?
Coco Thoughts. So we're going to see Coco Thoughts number 3. You've seen Coco Thoughts number 1. You've seen Coco Thoughts number 2. We're going to debut. Not only are we debuting the fact that we are live audibly on Spreaker, which also means if you guys want to hear the audio podcast, typically it's taken me time to manually download and edit and convert and save the video show into audio format. You will now have near real-time access to the audio replays of the show, same day, most likely. So if you missed it live and you want to listen to it, you'll be able to hear it much quicker. And Eriko has joined us. Hello, Eriko. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Is it Eriko or Eriko? But we know who you are. You do cool stuff with the Coco, and we're glad that you're here. All right, so let's thank our patrons. Let's hear Coco Thoughts number 3. We're going to take about a 2-minute commercial break, and then we'll be back. Paul Thayer has just joined us. You guys are doing the show today. Yes, Paul Thayer. We typically don't do the show every week on Saturdays, but this week we thought, you know what? Just to be random and spontaneous, we'll do our show on Saturday. But we're here, Paul. Glad to have you. And let's now talk about our patron sponsors of our program that have helped get James Diffendaffer a clean, clear-sounding microphone. But Al Hartman, Alan Huffman, Blair Ledoux, Brendan Donahue of the CocoVGA.com project, Brian Joyce of Extructus.com, D. Bruce Moore with CocoForever.gracenote.ca. Oh, I spelled Grace Note wrong. It's an E in Grace Note. FOD.gracenote.ca, also one of Bruce's sites. We got Davey Mitchell. We've got Diego is here. We've got Disney Saints fan. Eric Canales and his color-computer.com. I forgot to put Diego's site. What is Diego's site? Yet another color computer site.info. YACCS.info. Yeah. Did I misspell Eric Canales? Yeah, Canals. Eric Canals is one of our sponsors. Yeah. Hey, listen, we're liver than ever, so Eric Canals is up there. Grant Leedy, Jason Downs, Kyle Eder, Ken Reichert, and KenMakeIt.com, Paul Fiscarelli, Freno Mythic, Ripe and Peach, Richard Lorbieski, and BoySonTech.com. Rob Inman, Steve Bjork, Terry Steggy, The Backyard Shed Gang, Tom C., and Tom S. All patron sponsors of the show. Thank you. You are all too kind. We'll be back in just a minute.
And now, Coco Thoughts by Samuel Gimes. If I put a real-time clock in my color computer, who would I blame when I say out too late?
Hi, it's Chris Boyle, part of the CoCoTALK crew of people.
Hey everybody, this is Bill Noble, co-author of Nitrous 9. You are listening to CoCoTALK Live, the leading live CoCoTALK show.
G'day, mates. This is Nick Marionettes, author of such color computer titles as Donut Disaster, Rupert Rhymes, and Rockstar Pilot. And I am here today to tell you about the world's most fabulous operating system, OS 9. OS 9 and its current incarnation, Nitrous 9, is the most advanced operating system ever created. And what makes it so good? Ease of use. I find OS 9 so incredibly intuitive that I haven't once cracked open the user manual. And yet I've been able to create such incredible games faster than the time it takes to sing Waltzing Matilda. Using OS 9, I expect my next game, Funstar, will be done this weekend and distributed exclusively on ROM cartridge. OS 9 forever.
Any resemblance to actual events to persons living or dead is purely coincidental.
Radio Shack has a great gift idea for the whole family. Fast action TV games, and they're on sale. Get this 6-game model for $29.95 or the 4-game model for $21.95. With rising entertainment costs, that's a real bargain. You play hockey, tennis, squash, and more. Easy to hook up and great family fun that lasts all year long. The sale price TV games. Only at Radio Shack, a Tandy company.
Hi there, this is Mark Overholzer, and you're watching CoCoTALK, the world's leading weekly talk show where you can join in. Hey, come watch us and see what's happening in the world of Coco.
CoCoTALK is brought to you in part by Placeblex Dietary Supplement. Placeblex. We think it works, so will you.
CoCo2, c'est le coq champignon, des micros et dans le pion. Pour le jeu, il est pas bavard, les études, c'est pas bizarre. L'expansion, il adore ça, les commandes, tu vas ça. Notre coco est bon valable, pour tes cours, c'est bien serviable. CoCo2 de Radio Shack, ton affaire est dans le sac.
Un ordinateur couleur qui a de la personnalité. Le CoCo2 de Radio Shack. On solde pour Noël à partir de 149,95.
CoCo2 de Radio Shack, ton affaire est dans le sac, c'est toi et CoCo2.
Hello, this is Grant Leedy with CoCoTALK. Got your Coco 3 yet?
From the makers of the Switcheroo. Wallaby Cable, Color Computer 3 Dual RGB Cable. Get yours today at cocoman.biz.
Fletcher, I don't need that report tomorrow.
Great, JT.
I need it tonight.
But JT...
Fletcher saved $300 on her office away from the office. Radio Shack's revolutionary Model 100 computer. It's a word processor, phone directory, and dialer. It even communicates with the office computer.
Fletcher, how's that report? Fletcher.
Radio Shack's Model 100. Save $300 and put it to work.
You'll go far, Fletcher. You'll go far.
We now return you to CoCoTALK.
And we're back. We're back with more and more CoCoTALK. So in the live chat, we missed a few things during the commercial. Sixy says, glad someone else agrees that Gime rhymes with time. So the guy's name is Gimes, Samuel Gimes, right? So instead of calling it a gimme, he calls it Gimes, right? Joe Burnett is here. That guy peddling TV games, is that where was that what Merle did before the zombie apocalypse? Retro Innovations. Someone needs to create MIDI of those notes at the end of the 1980s commercials. Yeah, that'd be cool to have just the soundtrack to that.
Hey, I got
Excellent.
a question. Do you think that those video games they were showing had a processor in it, or was it TTL maybe only?
Ooh, that's over my head. What do you guys think?
I don't think they had a processor in them.
It should have had something like a TMS 1000 or 1100. It's a real early processor, of course. I think it was dedicated to like games.
Okay.
I honestly don't know.
I thought I read technically Space Invaders didn't have a processor either. The original arcade game.
I thought it was 8080.
Yeah, it was.
Space Invaders was, yeah.
Or
But there
maybe
are some
Space
arcade
War.
games that
Oh,
did not
Space
have-
War.
Space
the first
War?
video game ever made. Yeah.
Pong was
Pong was the
TTL.
first. Yeah. Mm.
And Pong.
TTL, DriveWire,
DriveWire.
ESP, ESP,
Oh, there we are at home again.
RS-232.
How many slots do you have?
David.
TTL, eh?
David, how many
Transit
slots?
Logic.
David, how many slots is an acceptable amount of slots? If you know, David Ladd. David, do you copy? Okay, David Ladd.
Well, yeah, your speech sound pack.
We
Mr.
put.
Nine.
That's a pretty good David Ladd simulation.
Yeah, I might actually have one of these. Let's see if I have that right now.
You don't want to go over the 4-slot maximum.
I have 24 slots.
24 slots. That is insane.
6 CoCos with 4 multi-packs, yeah?
Correct. Might have 5.
Wow.
Can you plug a multi-pack into a multi-pack?
That's an interesting
Looks a
game.
little wonky.
Can you plug a multi-pack
You can.
into?
I don't know if it'd work, but you can.
Be very awkward.
I got 2 of them here. I could try. No, I don't want to blow them up.
Demonstrate that.
You might create some type of space-time vortex and open up a dimension to another reality or something. Who knows?
CoCoTALK will become 3D all of a sudden.
Yeah.
The Matrix, one of the two.
Yeah. For those of you just tuning in, our big announcement today is that CoCoTALK is now even liver than ever because we are live streaming on Spreaker. So you can literally listen to us live now. There's a live audio podcast of the show that's also interactive. So you can listen and chat in. And we'll even try to read the chats from time to time. Unfortunately, it's not as easy to integrate those live chats, but we will. And so starting from episode 113 and hopefully moving forward, we will be liver than ever.
I have a question about the streaker.
This, yeah, to call him the streaker.
Yeah. Now, are we going to make it famous, or is it famous already? Where a lot of people use it, or because I've.
Oh no, yeah, I think Spreaker is already a pretty well-known podcasting platform.
I know another podcast that uses it.
Yeah. So, and on the note of podcast, so I know enough to be dangerous about this, but I've been playing around with this for several days now. So podcasts work off of what's known as an RSS feed, and somebody hosts the main feed. So somebody hosts your podcast, you get a feed address, and you plug that into other places so they can kind of pick you up, right? So we have been hosted for the past 2 years. We've been hosted with a company called Podbean. One of the challenges with Podbean is because we have an audio version of the show and we have a video version of the show, because I also upload replays of the show so people can watch them on iTunes as the video show, which you can download and watch it offline. So it's mostly a convenience to people who want to see the entire show, literally see it, but they want to see it in a way where they don't have to consume bandwidth by streaming it. The mixture of these two medias, of audio and video, has not been completely compatible with other people receiving the RSS feed from us, because some services will only accept an audio specific feed. So the pursuit to figure out a new way to feed audio led me to Spreaker. And the thing that really appealed to me about Spreaker was not only is it a podcasting service like anybody else, but they have the ability to do live audio podcasting. And since we are a live show, it made sense to add the live audio component to it as well. So, and on top of that, we're going to be able to host multiple shows, each with their own RSS feeds. So, for example, CoCoTALK After Dark is going to be its own podcast where you can subscribe to just that. Our other shows like Retro Talk that we're hopefully going to have more of and things like that. So each show will be a separate podcast feed, so you can subscribe to the shows you like. You can subscribe to CoCoTALK, you can subscribe to After Dark, you can subscribe to Retro Talk if you want to follow those podcasts. One way to tell you're getting the new version of the show when you look for CoCoTALK is it's going to say CoCoTALK Live. So when you search whatever podcast platform you're on, If you search for the word CoCoTalk and you see the title of the podcast now says CoCoTalk Live, that's the new version coming from Spreaker. It's because I've been in 2 different places. I'm probably going to be, picked up different ways. So I want people to know that CoCoTalk Live, and you notice the logo here too. The word live is in red. So that logo with the word live in it too is going to let you know that's the new version of the show. And we have lots of plans on other things and other shows and other things to be revealed later. So, the wheels are turning, ideas are cooking, and, this is just one step in many other services and features we hope to offer our viewers and listeners in the future. All right.
I wanted to mention one thing about Spreaker. Like, people were wondering if it's been used by other shows and stuff. I will mention that Twit, that is one of their live cast options, is Spreaker.
Okay.
All of their shows.
Okay. And Twit's fairly well known.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're a big player and they're using it. Yeah. So we are going to be able to be experienced in a number of different ways, and I will update the CoCoTalk website with the different places that are catching our feeds and offering our feeds. So we'll have more on that in the future. So just check in on our website, cocotalk.live, from time to time for a list of places where you can catch it. For example, you can get us now on Amazon Alexa, right? We've always been there. So you could go there and ask to play CoCoTalk. Lots of different places. We're on Spotify now, for whatever that's worth. A place where people go to listen to music. Hey, you know what?
Spotify is a hugely popular platform.
What's that, Spotify?
Spotify is a hugely popular platform.
But it's mostly been hugely popular for music, hasn't it?
No, it's getting there for podcasts too now.
Okay.
Really? That's interesting. Didn't even know they did podcasts.
Rob,
not overused for use.
Yeah, Rob Inman's asking which twit is responsible for this show. Yeah. I wasn't sure about that. I know that a few people were posting. I know the Trash Talkers were posting they were on Spotify, and Coco Crew mentioned they were on Spotify, and so I didn't understand. What the listen. The more places you can be, the better. There's nothing wrong with that.
Discoverability is important.
Discoverability, yeah. Probably also worth mentioning that something I've added recently is the ability to watch us live on Twitter. So Twitter has something of theirs that's called Periscope, I believe, and that's kind of their live streaming platform. And I've actually added to the multi-stream. When we stream live right now, we're also streaming on Periscope. So if you're a person who watches us or you follow our Twitter page, the CoCoTalk, at CoCoTalk Live on Twitter, if you follow us there, you can also watch the show live on Twitter. We're live on Twitter right now. So when we multi-stream, we are multi-streaming all over the place. Lots of ways to experience the show. And I'm not sure if any of these ways are good for human consumption, but we're out there.
Like a virus.
Yes,
Well,
like a virus.
Like radiation import from my screen or anything?
And if you stare at a green screen too long, yeah, you could get face cancer. So...
And how are we doing on streams like video versus audio? I don't know if we've done a public update on that lately.
Honestly, I haven't tracked the numbers, Lisa. I know in general, the last time I checked, we were somewhere around 21,000 downloads on the generic podcast numbers. That's, lifetime audio and video, which is definitely respectable. We've always averaged about 1,000 podcast downloads per month, which is also respectable considering.
But that's in addition to the live feed.
In addition to the live feed, yeah. So... unfortunately, because we're in so many places, it's really hard to correlate all of those numbers. But, like I said, the number that I'm concerned with, the only number that concerns me right now is I'm looking on the YouTube watch page. We have 23 people watching us live, right? And at least 10 of those people are not us. And
can you get view counts from the Twitter Periscope account as well, or?
Again, probably, but that's like a lot more work. I have to go to all these different places, correlate it, combine it, add it up, do math, etc. Right? So
we'll hire somebody.
Yeah, it's honestly it's a convenience. Yeah, go ahead, David.
I think this would be interesting if they had like I know with audio, I've just literally created a new band name and preparing all the audio files for my next CD release. And I'm going to do it through a company called CD Baby, which some of you probably heard of.
Yeah, CD Baby.
Basically, you just give them all your audio files, you give them all your artwork, and they give you access to all of the major platforms: iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, YouTube, everything. They do it all for you, And they
Cool.
also give you in your account a back-end dashboard where you can log in and you can find out which sites have given you how many people have come in and bought the album from what platforms. Really detailed statistics. So I'm just wondering if there's, because we're doing the equivalent in streaming and we're streaming to different areas and different places, I wonder if there's some kind of a statistics thing that we can get it all bundled together in one place where you can just look at everything.
Is that pricey?
CD Baby? No, yeah. It's pretty good. It's $50 US per CD launch, and you get 91% of the profits you get from each sale. And so it's only a one-time fee per album. You don't pay each year. You don't have to pay a membership, and they just take 9% of each sale. So it's pretty good.
Which is cheaper than iTunes. iTunes takes what, like 30%, right?
Yeah, and it goes to iTunes through these guys as well. So by going through these guys to all these places, I mean, you probably don't get as much back from iTunes, but CD Baby themselves only take 9% of each sales. So, but you've got it out on pretty much about 150 platforms they release it to.
Interesting. That's worth looking into. Okay, so CD Baby, we'll look for that. Aminico Stone has just waved a hand at us live on YouTube. Hello, Aminico. Welcome back. I haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's the whole idea of this retro hobby for this one computer. We're such a niche thing. It's so obscure to begin with that it's, it is what it is. However, getting yourself out there, as many places as possible is not a bad thing. Because I know the Coco crew has mentioned that they've reached 90,000 downloads, and that's an insane number. It's like, wow, that's huge, right? So to me, I'm really more focused on quality than quantity. I just want to make sure that I'd rather have 12 people here that are enjoying being here for us, and right now we still have 25 people watching us live. So when we do this show for sometimes 5 hours on end, if there's 24 people here hanging out with us, to me, that's a quality experience that we're having with these people versus a quantity of some random abstract number. So I'm not as concerned about big globalization numbers and all these statistics. As long as people are here to watch us live and are enjoying the show, and I can look at the replays, we get an average of 100 to 200 views each week on the YouTube feed, plus the podcast feed. But again, because we're feeding so many places, it's really hard to correlate all those numbers. And honestly, I don't care. I'm not trying to come up with some figure to just brag about a number. To me, numbers don't mean anything. It's really about, are we providing a service? Are people enjoying what we do? Are people showing up every week? And so far, the answer to that is yes, right? So I'm happy with that. But we are going to continue to pioneer new platforms to infest our filth and our vulgarity into, So if we're going to be rude and vulgar, we're going to do it on as many platforms as possible. So we'll continue to push that envelope and broaden horizons and just,
Yeah, discoverability is huge. If you're not available on certain platforms, especially if you get in different countries where other ones may be more popular than they are in Australia, North America, the UK, or whatever, Canada, then at least you have the opportunity of being found by somebody if they do a search for Coco and whatever that happens to be. So the more platforms you're on, the more the show can spread, and we can start getting European viewers we may never have gotten before, etc.
Right.
So when are we going to start broadcasting in Spanish?
El CoCoTALK.
Tacos. I love tacos.
Yeah, I love that. It's getting close to lunchtime. Somebody say tacos. I'm out of here.
Tacos. El Coco Tacos.
El Coco Taco coming at you in Espanol. Change the subject, Rendezvous, by all means. I'm tired of listening to myself.
Okay, so it's next year's the 40th year of the Coco One.
Yes.
Out, which is cool. Now, is this year the 40th anniversary of the agricultural color computer that was made?
No, the Agd Vision.
Did that come out a year before?
Yeah, I think the first version came out in 79, didn't it?
If it did, then it's the 40th anniversary of that machine.
Yeah, that's true.
And we let it pass by without saying anything. But wait, I just said something.
I can't remember if it came out in 79 or if it came out in 1980, but before the Coco, because the Coco was announced in the summer of 1980.
I think it was 79. I think that rings a bell to me.
And does anyone have one currently they can show anybody? No? Yes?
I don't.
No?
The Agd Vision?
Yes.
I have one.
Terry
I
Steggy?
don't have it up here, but I can go downstairs if you want me to look.
Well, it's still the anniversary, so.
Yeah, we got all year. So
yeah, bring it up. Let's see it.
Yeah.
All right,
Is it a
I'll bring it
different
up
color?
next week. How's that sound?
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, it's still the anniversary, yeah.
Well, our next commercial break will give you 2 minutes to do that. So,
I haven't seen my stash of stuff.
This is a week-long project we're talking here.
Well, we could bring a picture up and share it.
I don't have the blue one. I wish I had the blue one, but
Yeah, does anybody know history on that? Did it come out blue first, or?
I think blue first, and then the gray one.
And they're just terminals.
Yes.
And so we have a question from Miniko. Is anybody using the Mr. Coco on the Mr. platform? Anybody got one of those, or an FPGA, or the Coco on a chip?
I would like one, but it's cost money.
Yeah, no. We had some people talking about Coco Pi this week too. That stuff's going on. Anybody else in the panel have a Coco alternative, like a hardware emulated Coco? Negative? Crickets?
Nope.
Okay. Ken Rackard says, make an oil painting and show that. That's what we'll do. We're going to make some fluffy clouds over here. Some happy little trees. So, yes. All right. Anything else, or should we move on to news with Curtis Boyle? Anyone? Are we ready to move?
Let's do that.
Let me ask you this. Do we have other segments? Are we going to be doing a game on segment or a core dump segment? Does anybody have anything technical or software related they wanted to talk about today?
We were talking about if Bruce Moore was able to come on, we might have done a core dump on his research into moving the Coco 1 and 2 compatible graphics modes around in memory in a Coco 3 beyond the 64K.
Ooh,
but
okay.
I don't think he's on, so maybe we'll wait for next week for that.
Okay. James Jones in the live chat says, I've got a Matchbox Coco. I would like to have the Mr. Coco someday. Curtis Boyle says, Bill Noble has the Matchbox, but not a Coco. Bill says, I have a Matchbox. So Matchbox Coco is the new name for what used to be called Roger Taylor's Coco on a chip, or Coco on a stick, or whatever the hell it was called, right?
Chip, yeah.
Coco on a chip. That's now called the Matchbox Coco, and then Roger Taylor came up with another project that was called the Mr. Coco, which is using the MIST platform, or the Mr. platform. And then there was also Gary Becker's Coco 3 FPGA, the original, the often imitated Coco 3 FPGA by Gary Becker.
Soon
Which
to be
was
duplicated.
Represented at the Coco Fest, wasn't it?
It was represented. Yeah, he's there every year at Coco Fest, showing off the Coco 3 FPGA.
It's basic. So that one, it basically emulated all of the Motorola chipset, basically on a single FPGA, I guess, is it? That'd be right?
The gimme. Sorry.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, Nick's got a Coco FPGA.
Oh, you do, Nick?
Yes, I do. Yep.
Okay.
It's not set up, but yeah, I do.
Okay.
What other secrets do you have?
He runs
I
OS
tell you,
9
I'd
on
have to kill you.
He's running OS 9, ease of use on it.
Ease of use.
He was last night.
Inside joke.
Yes.
Inside joke.
Okay, so Galaxy Explorer is back. Now he's asking a question. Do you think you can run a Windows 10 virtual machine on Windows 7 or XP? I would say the answer to all of that is yes. Yeah, typically with virtualization, you should be able to run any version of Windows. Now we have somebody, Scurvy Nuts. I don't even know what the hell that says here. I can't even read your name. What does that say here? It looks like it says Scurvy Nuts Only Lamont or something.
Nut story.
I'm not. I can't. Nut story. I can't read your name. But anyways, right now this is we're using a little private piece of software for this show. But you can chat with us live. All right. So we answered the question. We answered the question about the Coco 3 FPGA. Some people have them. So what else? Are we ready to go into news? Anything else before we move on to the next segment? Anyone? Bueller? All right.
I noticed we got two people there on the screen that are both running Neutroid.
Yes.
Well,
Neither
one's
one of them
running
have figured out how to play it yet, but yeah.
Neutroid 2 on mine.
Yeah, yes. Ron's got the original, and Nick's got the updated version, which is semi-graphics running on a Coco 3 even.
Ooh, yes.
Yes, that's right. Many say it can't be done. Well, yes, it can.
Listen. I'm not. Listen. We don't need you stirring a pot right now, Nick Morentis. Okay.
We're going for 6 hours today.
Yes.
I don't care.
Yes. Now, unfortunately, or fortunately, the audio live feed does have a 5-hour limit on it, so we can't live stream the audio version of the podcast for more than 5 hours. But if CoCoTALK lasts for more than 5 hours, you're welcome.
It'll cause internal hemorrhaging. So you don't want to do that.
We'll all need medical attention.
Yes.
Also, since we're on, just voice only on this one program, we have to describe what they're seeing.
Well, that's true every week anyways, because we have an audio version of the show every week. So yeah, we should be doing that. We should be trying to do audio subtitles for the visually impaired for those who are listening to us.
Imagine, if you will.
Yes.
TDP 100.
All right. I am focusing my camera now on L. Curtis Boyle. I'm going to play some music here that's going to kick off our new segment. L. Curtis Boyle, are you ready to go into some news?
Oh, sure.
All right. Here's some music. All right, everybody, get ready for some rockin' news with L. Curtis Boyle. Take it away, Curtis.
Can't hear it, so.
That's because I can't share. If I'm sharing, you wouldn't be able to share.
Sharing is caring.
Okay. Let me know when the music's done and I'll start.
Curtis, I said take it away, Curtis. That was your cue.
Oh, that was
we got to work on this here, Curtis. Yeah. Take it away, Curtis.
Now, Stevie, go slow. He's Canadian.
Yeah, we're sorry.
I'm sorry.
We're sorry for Curtis Boyle. We're sorry.
I need maple syrup. Okay, is my screen being shared?
Your screen is being shared.
Okay, so first up, there's 2 more AGD packs released. This is 31, which contains the game's Breakanoid, which is a clone of Arkanoid, and from the screenshots that I'll show in a little bit here, it actually looks like it's using the same level designs as the original Arkanoid, so it looks like an actual clone.
That's cool.
Chunk Zone, Operation Labyrinth, Fall, Pengo Quest, and Percy Penguin. So there's Chunk Zone, which looks weird. There's Breakanoid.
Oh, that looks neat.
Dithering there.
Thank you. Yes, you're too kind.
Selection
And
screen.
thank you.
And there's the Space Invaders level, which is actually on the real Arkanoid too. So it looks like a pretty good clone. Now, I'm not sure if the translation of the graphics fully work, because the regular Arkanoid has different colored blocks for different things. Like ones you have to hit twice and ones you are indestructible, etc. And they all look the same here. So I'm not sure if that was just a translation or if they are literally just blocks. Somebody who knows the Spectrum version would have to let us know. But that one might need some graphical tweaks later. There's Bubble Frenzy, which looks pretty nifty.
Oh,
These
Ken
are all a color.
Reichert says a cheap knockoff of a Sacred Cow game is not permitted.
It's in Spain, so what do they care?
Yeah.
Operation.
Oh, that
Labyrinth.
looks neat. That little title screen looks really cool. This with the dithering
It's
there.
like Saturn or something there. So
Yeah.
Ron Delvaux can vouch for that.
Thank you. Yes, you're too kind. And thank you.
These are all meant to be 8 color, aren't they? On the Spectrum, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's Pengo Quest, which is another Pengo clone. I think they've had one other one actually in the AGD packs too. Percy Penguin.
That looks cool.
Which actually looks like a pretty interesting level design on that one. The Icicle Forest. So anyway, that's that particular one there. And then later in the week, they brought out AGD Pack 32, which has another set of 6 games, which includes Ferret Buster, Flipping Horse. I don't know if that's related to the Dragon Horse games. Lupa Alberto, Monkey Jr. in the Treasure of the Gold Temple, Pickaxe Pete, and then I'm going to let you guys do this one. How the heck do you pronounce this?
Hold on.
Here, I'll clear it off so it's easy to read.
Zyblet or Zadzine W. Kamienim.
I think he had lots of coffee, and it was the last game.
Yes.
I think literally when he was typing this, his cat just fell asleep on the keyboard, and that's
right.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, maybe someone dropped.
Now
some
maybe it's
his coffee or something.
Let's try this. Let's read it backwards. Backwards, it's my Nike we nice does roro tulbas.
It says Ken Weasler. Ken Weasler.
Calling this show a dumpster fire is way too good for us.
I feel like this game is a trick, like when they make newscasters say bad words.
Yes,
it could be. We'll have to see the screenshots later of that game because I'm just intrigued by the title that's unpronounceable.
Yes, okay, so Karen says, I tried Ferret Buster and couldn't make head nor tails of it. So, all right, good one.
Speaking of, there's Ferret Buster.
Ferret Buster.
Yep, I don't know what that's doing either.
Well, you got to bust ferrets.
Well, obviously.
Who are you going to call?
It does look like the same horse from the dragon, actually.
Flipping Horace. Oh, I thought you said flipping horses. Flipping Horace. Who the hell is Horace, and why would we want to flip him?
Horace is a character in several dragon-based games. There's Horace skiing, and there's Horace Frogger type game.
So is he like another
Horace
Cuthbert?
Everything.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Horace is kind of an English name, huh?
Horace, a horse is a course, of course, unless you know.
But the character actually looks the same as the dragon, so this must be part of that same series, I would imagine.
That looks neat. Lupo Alberto, the video game. Press space for menu.
Yeah.
I like the
Nice
little
little
character.
cartoon characters,
Yeah,
yeah.
the characters look good, especially for being monochrome.
Yeah. That one actually looks pretty good on monochrome, so.
That looks really good. Okay. Monkey J. Oh, yeah. The follow-ups.
A gold temple that was lost in the forest until he or she found it. Must be the longest video game title in history, man.
Lost in the Forest of Doom.
Ooh, look at that Medusa head floating around. That looks cool.
Ooh.
Reminds me of my wife first thing in the morning.
What?
So, striking gold with Pickaxe Pete.
Stevie's cut off.
Gold with Pickaxe.
Oh, okay. And Minico says that Horus is mainly a specky thing, so he's more on the spectrum than I guess on the dragon.
Okay, because there's at least 3 games in the dragon I know that have Horus.
Okay.
Hungry Horus and a few others. There's a Pac-Man clone, a Frogger clone, a skiing game. So must be I don't know if it was designed multi-platform because those were back from the early days of.
Okay.
Not later.
Hey Steve, where are you going to host CoCoTALK next week?
We'll figure it out. It'll be a mystery. it'll be a surprise, and we won't tell anybody. It'll be a scavenger hunt. People have to scour the internet to find us.
I was trying to remember. Pickaxe Pete, wasn't that a series on some computer too? I've heard that character name before.
It's a dragon thing, I think, too.
It looks almost like Atari 2600 style graphics here.
Yeah.
And there,
we go.
if you guys can pronounce the
okay,
rest of that.
Zyblet or
Spylet?
Zodigzine. Okay, yeah. Sorry.
Oh
no, I know exactly what this is. This is Karma Chameleon. I don't know what that is. So it comes and goes.
The thing I find funny is it has this weird ass title screen with the unpronounceable for English speakers, and then actually Devil will tear your head off. You know,
Devil will tear your head. Devil man. Yes. Okay.
The title.
It's
Devil.
probably Ukrainian or Russian.
Yeah, or Polish. It looks like it could even be Polish.
Oh yes.
Maybe not Polish.
Yeah. I mean, the level design looks pretty interesting, but I have no idea what the game's about. So.
Devil will tear your head off. The devil. I swear that devil. What are we gonna do with that devil? He's just doing devilish things. So maybe somebody ought to send him to hell. All right, so the devil will tear your head off. Those are some interesting games.
Yeah, they are, and I wouldn't mind if somebody gets a chance to try these before the next show and just gives us kind of a mini review as to what some of these games are like. So I don't have time these days, but
yeah,
feel free, other game players. And then along the same lines as well, they've released the Agd Big Pack, which basically is all of the different sets of games combined into one zip, and they make multiple formats of it. There's a list down here.
And we should have all of these links should be in the description of this video. So feel free to grab the links and get these. Okay, so we got Dragon Big Pack short names, Dragon Big Pack long names, Coco Big Pack short names. So short names would be ones you would run off the Coco SDC.
SDC, yep.
Right,
And
so
the
it's
long
got
names are the ones you run off the emulators.
Right, so 8.3 naming conventions. So
I need a 1 gigabyte SD card now.
yeah, how big is the file?
These are only about 5 meg.
4.17 megabytes. I mean, they're small files still.
That's
And
not
you
that's
know,
zip though. So once they
And you
unzip,
need 1 gigabyte SD and a half an hour to scroll through the directories.
Yeah, right.
Now, if these are all running on the Dragon, then they're all available to run on a 32K Coco.
well, there's Coco versions right here.
Yeah, Coco Big Pack short names, Coco Big Pack.
Well,
long
I'm trying to get the sense of the size of the file.
Oh,
so,
well, they work in 32K. I think so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Maybe it depends on the game.
It's either 32 or 64. I can't remember. Some of them might need 64. From what I remember Paris saying when he first started porting these over.
Okay.
Yeah, and the forum is called. Just scroll up to the top so we can get the URL for this too. It is called. What the hell is it called?
Archive.worldofdragon.org.
Archive.worldofdragon.org. This is the official Dragon forum. So, yep. 60 says it's 33 megabytes unzipped. Inconceivable. Who has a storage device that can handle 33 megabytes of data? It must cost $1 million.
We need a 64 meg memory upgrade for the Coco. We just put them all in there once and just run them at will.
Yeah, very cool.
The next batch, and it's one story, but it's multiple sites. And this I'll have to give kudos to Brian Weisler for finding these because he posted about them on Facebook, and then I kind of found a few of the other links too. But basically, we saw a couple weeks ago there was the version of Temple of Rom, the ones that were taken from Radio Shack.
The production samples, right?
Out of business sale. So this was in the Radio Shack warehouse, and it was production samples. Yeah, they basically take sample cartridges out of a run and test them. So there's multiple other ones of these that have started showing up on eBay as well. So
Demolition Derby.
Now, one thing I found fascinating about these, I mean, these are just from small runs at a certain window of time, and most of the ones we've seen here, and both the ones we saw previously and the ones we're going to see today, are from the 1988-89. So this is like well into the Coco 3 era, but most of these cartridges are for the Coco 1 and 2. So it kind of gives you an idea of, for games that are already 5 to 8 years old, how many were they producing to sell?
Mm-hmm.
And to help Steve by not having to do math, I added these up here for the ones I can read. So Demolition Derby, for example, between April 21st, 1988 and March 7th, 1989, which is a little bit less than a year, 4,650 Demolition Derby cartridges were made.
Wow.
Did they
that's
have a
that's less
26
than
number?
that's less than one per store because there was more than 4,000 Radio Shack stores at that time, right?
Yeah, but I mean these are cartridges that are years old already for the Coco 1 and 2.
This is a new run.
Years into
Yeah.
the Coco 3 already, so this is not the original runs. Or
Okay,
anything.
now hold that thought right there. Okay, because what I'm noticing here, you see where it says Dino Wars, and you see that silver box says Tandy, right?
Yep.
And there has been different packaging and different labels over the years for the games, right? So the original ones were the silver box with the black letters that said TRS-80 on the box. It was a standard box, right? Newer packaging and newer labels went to the Tandy brand for the cartridges. So if you're like a real collector and you want to get variants, there are TRS-80 branded cartridges. There's Tandy branded cartridges. There's the black on silver box that says TRS-80. There's the white on silver box that says Tandy. Some of them were sold in the plastic blister packs. So there are lots of variants of cartridges. If you're that much into collecting, you might,
Yeah. And now one thing I wanted to ask, and I don't know if any of the people here that have worked at Radio Shack in the past might know the answer to this, but if you notice under part numbers there on the top, there's the 2.6 range, which was what the standard Tandy ones were. What is the 4.4 range?
Oh, I don't know. Was that catalog on the online sale catalog thing?
Maybe. I don't know. I was hoping maybe somebody on the panel, like I was hoping Richard would be here because he might know.
And then there's also the TDP branded ones that were in the 10 series. What was that, Terry Steggy? Do you remember that? Was it a 10 series on the?
They were usually 10 series.
Yeah, so we had the 26 series for the
regular Radio Shack stores.
Interesting.
And this one here, I mean, Dino Wars had 1,300 cartridges made in 2 days, September 20th, 1988, till the next day, September 21st.
That's starting to get up there, like into comparing to Boomerang sales.
Yeah, yeah. Bust Out, which is Glenn Saga, we had on interview. This is one of the original cartridges developed for the Coco One. So this run here is 3 separate runs done between November 10th, 1988 and November 23rd, 1988. So basically 2 weeks worth of run. And this is 8 years after the original cartridge came out.
What's the use of this then?
To see if they work.
Yeah, this is like test runs. You pull samples out of the main run and then you make sure they work.
Kind of spot checking them for quality control.
Yeah.
Now the cartridge says Radio Shack TRS-80 on the side of it, but the box says Tandy. So did they bother to change?
Is this just old stock that they had in their warehouse that they?
Well, these are samples that were pulled and put into the warehouse. Yes.
What are those blue stickers? What do they say around it? Can't read it.
They say production sample, basically.
Yeah. They're asset tags, so they're just, it's for inventory purposes. So a lot of companies have asset tags they put on things so they know what it is and everything's numbered. Kind of like that New York Times Coco that's been trying to be sold for $300 for the past 20 years. With the metal asset tag on there, just identified what company it belonged to and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now
it's kind of fascinating. Like Bust Out is an 8-year-old game at this point, actually 8.5. And they made another 1,950 cartridges.
Wow.
And this is like, 2 or 3 years into the Coco 3 era. So
and they had more stores than cartridges. So
but some of the stores probably still had inventory because the cartridge had been being produced for 8 years already. This is like a very late add-on run, basically.
Yeah.
Popping up for Christmas by the dates, I'm guessing.
Do you know where these were made?
I was hoping Richard might be able to tell us that if he was here.
Richard's not here. Well, they were purchased from the Tandy auction, so they ended up being in Texas. But were they produced in Texas? Hard to say.
Yeah, that I don't know. Space Assault. This one had 1,925 cartridges made between April 20th of 88 and February 24th of 89. Once again, this is a very old cartridge, and they almost made another 2,000.
Wow.
That late into the cycle. And then the final one was Monster Maze.
How do you know these were actually manufactured on that date? This might be just stock that they pulled out from an old warehouse. It could be 10-year-old stock.
I suppose that's possible.
Because even the cartridge design, the plastic looks like an old style. Didn't they change the style of the cases a bit later on?
That's what I'm wondering, Nick, because the side of the cartridge still says TRS-80. Even though they're putting it in a new box, why wouldn't they have changed the, you know how on Downland they changed the label to say Tandy instead of TRS-80?
I reckon it's all old stock. They probably made thousands back in the day.
And
this is just stock. They did a stock take. They say, well, we're going to get rid of the Coco, well, certainly the Coco 1 and 2. Let's get rid of all this old stock.
It makes a lot more sense than producing, a whole punch like a 2,000 cartridges.
Exactly.
I don't think Tandy was so cheap. I don't think they would be just making new labels just for the sake of making new labels. So yeah, you might be right. Or
why would you make Dino Wars 10 years later or whatever it is, 8 years later?
It's still in the catalog. So the thing is, Tandy was big on catalogs. They were a catalog-based business. It was in the catalog. They need to carry those items, right? I don't know.
Well, if they would have made thousands to start with, and I reckon this is all old stock that didn't sell.
Yeah, and they would have updated when they do the catalogs, they would have known what stock they had in stock too, like old stock of stuff, so they could say, we can put that in the catalog because we've got enough of it to cover it without, incurring a whole pile of new expenses.
Otherwise, bury it in some Mexican landfill.
And they use cursive on the paper.
Yeah, if I could actually read the headers here completely, And some of it's hard to read. Like quantity inspected is that one column with a smaller number. Quantity rejected, just has dashes, which means they all work. And then lot size, like I don't know if that means they pulled that much out of the warehouse, like you're saying, or if that was manufactured, or maybe
Pete Willard
boxed them with newer boxes and kept the old cartridges.
The boxes look newer, yeah.
Yeah, Pete Willard's asking why are they labeled samples? Then I don't know.
They're quality control production samples. Like basically, you make a run of 2,000, you pull every 50th one, and you make sure it works.
Yeah,
because you don't have time or money to physically
test
try
everything.
every single one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to do that at work when we were printing stuff too. Like we didn't check every single ticket we manufactured. We checked one every 1,000 sheets or whatever, and make sure the color keeps matching, etc. So it's quality control.
Mm.
So I thought that was fascinating. Oops. Last week we mentioned that Matt Chi, I don't know if that's his real name or his nickname, but he did that tank out game using Ed Snyder's PSG joystick sound card board, and he actually put the upload up for it. So if anybody has one of Ed's boards and wants to try it, or just wants to try the game, because the game is capable of playing perfectly fine using the built-in 6-bit DAC sound. But he's got it on the Facebook I'm a Coconut group, and you can actually download the disc image and give it a shot.
Yay, I have a PSG.
Cool.
Yeah, we got some support
Maybe
for
you
it.
can do a review of it for next week there, Mark. We wouldn't mind actually getting to see it, live being played.
Okay.
If you're not too busy camping next week, Mark.
Yeah, having a life. I don't know what that is.
Hey, girlfriend made me do it.
All right.
Hey, Davey Mitchell, last week we played, I think, 4 videos that he did of some Dragon games that we didn't see here in North America. And then he kind of finished off this one Companies Worth Pocket Money Software, which was kind of like that Tom Mix subsidiary that sold the games for much cheaper than normal.
So they were cheap knockoffs?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
But basically these were for I think he said £3 to £5 each, which would have been at that time maybe $10, $12 at the most. So I don't know if we want to play all these or just kind of go through the ones that were added. Tea Time, Bubble Buster, a few of these we did last week up through Robin Hood. So the new ones he added were Fearless Freddy, Bandita, which is a slot machine game, Jet Boot Colin, Slide, which is actually kind of like, I guess, Fuzzle. John Linville's
The puzzle thing? Okay.
Toppler and Pit Fiend. Sorry?
The yellow background, that's a pretty unusual color combination, but it looks good.
Yep.
I don't know, did you want me to play some of these for
I would like to see Pit Fiend. That the name is intriguing, and seeing the bricks there also looks intriguing. So let's see what Pit Fiend looks like.
Of course, all of these colors can be changed with Nick Marente's basic tool.
Yeah, Nick Marionettes. He's good like that.
That's right.
Or the Coco VGA.
If you must.
Okay. Use arrow keys. You can collect all 9 pieces of the ancient shield from the 5-level dungeon. You start on the middle level. Each piece of the shield has its favorite level. Press any key to start. All right. Let's see what it looks like here. What's it doing? It's generating mazes?
It says watch closely, so I guess it's just making the maze and flashing
Okay,
it.
this looks like Seamus a little bit, huh? The
Kind of.
scrolling is kind of smooth. Okay, and the game is called Pit Fiend. The guy looks like a freaking secret agent or something. He's got a hat on, or businessman or something. Who knows? Are you able to share sound too, Curtis? Because we can't hear it.
I keep forgetting that it doesn't.
Yeah, let's hear that Coco sound.
Let's hear that. It's a Coco sound chip. Oh, look at that big scary face on there. It's scary.
Okay, how do you share sound?
You got to go to the green button that says sharing and go to advanced and then hit share system sound or something like that. The green button in Zoom.
Are you getting sound?
There you go. Yeah, we hear it now. Oh yeah, and I'm grateful that you pressed that button. Ouch! Loud. Turn it down. Turn it down. Very loud.
What?
I'm not hearing it at all.
He just started sharing it.
Sound routine in the 80s.
Is that quieter?
Yeah, better. Okay, so it makes a clicking sound when he walks.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it plays a little multi-voice music theme at the beginning too.
Okay, now it looks interesting. It reminds me of Seamus a little bit. I'm not sure what the objective is. You have to find pieces of the shield, right? So 6 or 9 pieces of the shield. Okay, there's the bad guys. Okay, maybe he just got a shield piece, so now it says 03. Is that the number of lives or the number of shield pieces that he just got?
Shield pieces, because you can take a look at the shield in the lower right, slowly getting built up.
Oh, there's the picture of the shield there. Okay, So he's got 3 pictures of the shield. Okay, cool, interesting. It's a game I've never seen before, and yeah, that was interesting.
There's a lot of old gems there, so
yeah. Let's.
Chris,
What else?
All these are.
How
all
about
of these
Jet?
are available on the World of Dragon.
World of Dragon archive, I would imagine. Yeah.
Yep.
Go to Jet Boot colon. Colin, whatever, you know. Jet Boot
colon.
Oh, turn it down. Turn it down, Curtis. You're killing us. You're killing us. That's the noisiest colon I've ever heard.
I'd be worried if my colon made noises like that.
Seek medical help.
Sound effects are cool. Kind of Ken Kalish-esque.
Yeah, that kind of does remind me of Ken's.
These stripes look like they would show artifacts.
Yeah,
Potentially.
colors. There might be extra colors in this game. So you have to land on the... Oh, you have to pick up a bomb before it... But that's kind of like bomb threat. Like the bomb is ticking. And you have to...
Avoid the saucers at the same time.
Yeah, interesting. There's bomb number 7. Oh, that's the time on that. Okay.
Yeah.
Very Ken Kalish-esque. Yes.
Sound-wise, yeah.
Okay, cool. Interesting game.
Any other requests while we're here?
Anyone? Let's see. This is all Davey Mitchell's. It's called Davey's Retro Corner. Make sure you subscribe to that. Check it out. That's our good friend of the show. Also a patron of the show, too. Thank you, Davey Mitchell. Cool stuff. I've seen it. I like it.
Okay. Anyway, you can check them out. And as Steve mentioned, the links to this will be for the YouTube stuff. And then in World of Dragon, they have their own archive of software. You should be able to grab those off and run them in emulator. And if it's joystick-based, it should run on the Coco too. So. Hey, this one here. This is Jason Pittman has rejoined the Coco community lately on Facebook, and he threw this up as a screenshot from an emulated Coco in MAME. You can see on the title bar of a picture of his real Coco 3 setup.
Okay.
Coco Inception in photos type.
Yeah, that looks cool. And has that gone through the Coco image dithering, high color picture convert?
Actually, this is one he's been doing himself, I think, if I understood correctly.
Okay.
We've got multiple people working on these conversion of graphics things.
Looks good.
Cool. Very good.
Oh, jeez. Okay. This one here, this is a bit of a discussion that's been going on Facebook for how do you get more than 32K of RAM supported by BASIC? Now, on the Coco 3, there was Big Basic by Danosoft and some other stuff too. Plus, I mean, in the Coco 3's case, your high-res graphics, the Coco 3 modes and the high-res text screens actually come from outside your 32K basic space. So you can do a pClear 1 or the equivalent of pClear 0 to get more space for your basic program. On the Coco 1 and 2 is a bit more complicated. If you had 64K, there was an article in the February 84 issue of Rainbow, I think, that actually patched BASIC to let you use 40K from BASIC, and there were some commercial products that did that. There was Key 264 that lets you basically have two 32K programs running simultaneously. You could switch between them instantly. So there's been a bit of a discussion there between Bruce and Paul and Mo Cool and a few others here about some of the various things that would let you get more program space for your basic on a Coco 1 and 2. So I'm not going to read all the different ways. This discussion is actually quite lengthy, but if you're interested in doing that kind of stuff, definitely follow the discussion. There's a lot of good information in there.
Okay.
And here, I hope I'm pronouncing her name right, Noriko Mayagami. She's been doing a lot of adventure game playthroughs, both for the TRS-80 Model 1 and 3 and the Coco versions of them. And right now she's going through all the Scott Adams adventures. She released this one here of Secret Mission. And this is one of those old cassette-based ones that Roger Schrag ported for Adventure International. Now, this one had a little bit of a history because originally it was called Mission Impossible when it was originally released on the Model 1 and 3. By the time the Coco version came out, it had been renamed to Secret Mission, I think probably due to some copyright issues with a certain franchise or TV show. So she does a little bit of a history, but I'll just play a little bit of the in the middle here.
Program will allow you to have an adventure without ever leaving your armchair. You will find yourself in a strange new world. You will be able to look at, pick up, and otherwise manipulate.
But she goes through the description of the game, a little bit of the history of the game.
I would say mute it. Just mute it.
I will be your puppet in this adventure.
Okay. It's kind of hard to hear you and watch the video.
Yeah, I can't tell how loud it is for you guys
Yeah.
here.
Okay. Scott Adams Grand Adventure #3 Full Solution. So it's not only a little bit of a history lesson and a little bit of talk up, but then it's a walkthrough. So you could actually watch the whole game being solved.
One, because it's a fairly small game, she actually took the extra time to actually make a full map of how the whole game
neat.
interlinks. She doesn't normally do that for these games because most of the time they're fairly large and complicated. Sometimes the maps don't make any sense at all, like some of those infinite loop things like Pyramid had or Sands of Egypt in the desert or something. But in this particular case, it actually was a well laid out, logical map. So, but she's been doing these on and off every couple weeks type thing. She was the one who was also trying to figure out how to get Adventure, the original Colossal Cave, to work because there was a lot of corrupted copies on the Coco.
Okay.
I don't know if she ever got that totally resolved. I haven't heard back from her yet. I did give her one copy I had that I think was fixed, but I hadn't played it all the way through to find out. And she's doggedly determined she's going to finish every one of these games all the way through. So if you're an adventure game fan, I would follow her page. Actually, she does a ton of these.
Okay.
And this is somebody I've never heard of before, Atari Vision. And if I understood some of his comments, it sounds like he's restarted his page.
Yep.
But
I used to follow Atari Vision when he was back on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he does an interesting thing because what he does is he actually just points a camera at the TV. So he's playing on real hardware, and rather than running it through a capture device, it's all captured via camera. And he does a really good job with that.
Yeah, because in this case, he's got a Coco 3, he's got it upgraded to 512K, he's got a floppy drive, and then he's downloaded some Coco 1 and 2 games, some of his favorites from the day. I won't go through his explanation of what a Coco is and all this stuff, because I think most of us here in the panel know that already. Let's see if I can find where his gameplay stuff is.
There's some decent games on that.
How's the volume on that?
It's okay.
What we'll do is we'll take this.
Oh, nice. That's floppy drive. Yeah, so everything he's done, he had a pretty impressive collection of old consoles and stuff.
501 disk drive, Tandy 501. Hit the power. And type D.
He's got a composite here. You can tell by the blurry text.
Yeah. And he's playing only Coco 1 and 2 games on a 512K Coco 3, which I found kind of funny, so I gave him a comment. You should go check out like Donkey Kong and a few other things too.
Yeah, especially with the RAM.
Because the games he picked are his favorites from back in the day, because he had a Coco back in the day when he was young too, and he plays like Sailor Man and he plays Donkey King. And there's, Donkey King was the best Coco 1 and 2 Donkey Kong clone by far, and one of the best on any 8-bit platform. But I mentioned you should probably try out, Sock Masters, since he has the hardware to run it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just fast forward a little bit here. So
yep. And the composite looks good.
Yep.
Skip
it.
Composite looks good for artefacting in games, but not that good for text.
Yeah. And he's got the Puyan that actually had the splash screen when it loaded up.
Oh, neat.
Never saw that before.
Puyan.
Obviously, he doesn't have our patch yet.
Yeah, honestly, but I gotta say, this doesn't look that bad. You know what I mean? This, even though these are not our favorite combinations of colors, Puyan managed to pull it off.
Yeah.
Well, if it's a Coco 3, he's running in composite NTSC colors too.
Yeah.
This has to be my favorite.
And of
course, Donkey King. Absolutely, this was a game changer.
Yes, this is the one that really floored me. My first one that floored me was Astro Blast, because that was the first artifact I ever saw. But this is the first game I saw that actually beat most of the other 8-bits.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's planning on doing a lot more. He's kind of like I said, he's restarted his page by the sounds of it. And Stevie, you've had some experience with him before, so I'm hoping he does some more Coco related stuff.
I have games on cassette. I have games on.
Yeah, I'll have to find him. I'm gonna have to shoot him a message.
So
I was following his page and his videos for a while. He did a lot of stuff with just a lot of different consoles. He played stuff on different Atari systems and ColecoVisions and Intellivision and stuff. So he's got a pretty impressive collection of retro consoles and games and stuff.
Cool. Maybe we can give him some recommendations for some cool stuff, or even have him guest on when we're doing some of our game segments.
Mm-hmm.
And the final story that I have for today is from our very own Kieran Anscombe, or Sixie as he's known in chat. And he's been working on his online web-based XROR. So he's mentioned that it's coming along nicely, I think was his exact quote. So he's got stuff you can actually load in images off the website archive. You've got joystick emulation, you've got cassette emulation, you've got the various different machines, Dragon 3264, the Tano Dragon, Dragon 200E, various CoCos. What's a Dynacom MX 1600? That's not one I'm familiar with.
I wonder if that's a Brazilian clone.
Oh, is it?
Let's see the screen for it.
Switch it over and see if it reboots. Disc extended color basic. So it's probably a clone.
Yeah.
Might be right.
We'll go to cartridges. What else we got? Data systems, Dragon DOS, CoCoFest GMC demo, Orchestra 90.
Delta system.
I don't know what half these things are. No, this is really interesting, though.
Yeah, basically what he's mentioned is he's got support for the Orc 90 and he's got support for the Game Master cartridge. And he's got a couple specific things like the demo from CoCoFest and then Dungeons, which of course uses it. So you can actually use this to test if you don't have a Game Master cartridge, if you're writing software for it.
Yep.
If you import it into XOR, you can play it. He's also got his, the phasing of artifact colors, but he's also got different renders. He's got the simple 2-bit, the 5-bit, and the simulated, which means you can get the subtle artifact colors, or you can turn it on to pure blue-red, etc. And he emulates both tape and 4 disk drives at once, too. And
what a guy.
Very much a work in progress, as he says.
Right.
And,
and the author of XOR has been in a live chat with us. Sixie, Karen Anscombe, has been here.
So, Sixie, while I'm prattling on here, if you have anything you'd like to add on the chat.
Yeah, I mean, basically all these features you're showing here are all part of the menu in XOR. XOR is very user-friendly as far as its menus and its features, pull-down, top-down menus.
The advantage of this, though, is that this becomes completely cross-platform now. Because
he said go do print mem on the MX 1600. Go back to MS 1600 and then print mem.
Oh, wow.
55K. Holy crap.
Yeah. Huh.
That's almost all your 64K
well, that just
right there.
My previous thing for Bruce, just ditch the Coco and get an
get an
MX 1600.
Yeah, get an MX 1600. All the cool kids are doing it. Yeah, so this is basically a web equivalent of all the that you can get in XOR, right?
Do P-Clear 1 and then do it again.
P-Clear 1. 60 freaking K. 60K. That was 55K with graphics memory reserved. Wow.
That's
yeah, you got a plus and not a colon in there. Very important to a semicolon. You and your frickin' Apple
this is
keyboard.
One of those stupid remap keyboard things here.
Load your mouse driver high.
And we have a host topic discussion in a minute because James Jones asked a question of composite or composite. So 61 freaking K.
Wow.
It's a huge program.
So
how does that work even? Is it swapping or is the basic recoded to handle MMU blocks or something? I'm not familiar with this, so this is cool.
I have no idea.
He says complete lies to children. It just fake reports more on 64K machines. Basic can't use it.
Okay.
It's all smoke and mirrors.
Fake news.
So you get an OM error the same way you would on any other machine.
OM. I just got an OM error. What does that mean? What's OM mean?
That means you have to do your yoga pose and go OM.
OM.
No resistance.
The thing I like about this, though, is like I know XOR on the Mac, for example, was always behind because 60 doesn't have a Mac or didn't have one for a long time, so we only sporadically updated it. I don't know if there is even a proper Linux version or is that kept up to date with Windows. But because now it's a browser-based, I mean, technically you should be able to play this on a tablet, a phone,
so
any of the main operating systems.
I am running this simultaneously in a window here on my Mac. Sorry, on my iPad. So it's running in a window on iPad. Not only is it running correctly in a Safari, browser instance, but it also is supporting my keyboard that attaches to the iPad, which not a lot of these Java-based emulators do.
Oh, it's like a Bluetooth physical keyboard.
Yeah. Well, it connects through the special Apple proprietary port, so it's not actually Bluetooth. But because of the way that Apple does their keyboard on the iPad. Not a lot of things on the web that support keyboard will recognize the keyboard, but I am typing stuff in and it's all working.
Neat.
I'll have to try my Bluetooth one because I have a Bluetooth keyboard for my iPad, and I'll have to see if that works.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Where's the link for this?
I've got a USB adapter for PS2, not PS2, for a PC keyboard and mouse for my Android phone as well that works. It'd be interesting to try it on that.
Yeah.
Where's the link?
I just noticed that it is converting my keystrokes into Coco keyboard keystrokes. So I had
that's what it was doing to me here too. So I think that's part of itself.
You have to do Shift 2 to get a quotation, but
Can you hey Curtis, can you copy and paste the link to this webpage into the Zoom chat so Ron can get it? He's been asking for the link. The link is in the description of our YouTube video, Ron Delvaux, but Curtis is going to send you the link directly in Zoom chat.
I know where that is.
Oh, Zoom chat? Yeah. I just put it in the public.
Oh, public. Okay, he just put it in the YouTube chat too. So he just put it in YouTube chat.
Okay.
Now I will mention that 60's mentioned this link that I sent you. This is temporary. This is not its permanent home. This is just as he's doing the public testing.
Okay.
So once he's got it solidified to the point where he wants to make it a quote-unquote official release, he will give it a dedicated website.
Okay, so the fact that the URL ends in /TMP/X might be an indication.
Yeah, that's not TMAP. That's temp.
Temp, yeah. Right. Okay, so but 60's website is...
One other thing that he gave me in Discord chat when he sent me the link to this, if you're going to be playing around with the Game Master cartridge support, playing the the Fest demo version of the Game Master, which is one of the options that was on the pull down, that only works properly on the NTSC emulation, because if you do it on PAL, the timing goes off.
Okay.
And that's it.
That's it for news.
Yeah, the keyboard issue will have to be resolved because I did a print something and then go to 10 and now I can't break out of that. So I don't know how to break.
You try hand or control or C or escape or something?
Reboot.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to map correctly. Control. There's no control key on the iPad keyboard.
Okay, 60 also just posted in the chat too. He says, slight warning, it doesn't work in Google Chrome for me for some reason. Hopefully I'll figure that out. But I've been told it works for some other Chrome users. Maybe it's just because I run Linux.
Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah, there is a control. Control Q did just shut the whole...
Right, and Simon Jonason has joined us. The Madman is out there. So hello, Madman Simon Jonason. He's out there.
And then just another note here. I just noticed in the Zoom group chat, Mark Oberhoser actually ran that weird pronunciation AGD game we saw that we were jokingly trying to pronounce. Apparently it is Polish. And it translates to sold out self in the stone, the flaw, the fragrant of the black of the crag, which doesn't really help much, but it's slightly more English.
That's what Google translates.
I've got a whole bunch of Polish friends here, and I've got more friends here in Adelaide that are of Polish background than are of Australian background. So it's probably one of the reasons why I was able to recognise the Polish language.
So a couple people chiming in too, saying they're having a similar Chrome issue too. Pete Willard says not on my Windows Chrome either, so it's not necessarily a Linux thing. It might be a Chrome thing. Okay,
or maybe a Chrome version thing or something.
Yeah.
You know what shiny Chrome does.
All right. So does that conclude the news?
That concludes the news.
Thank you, Curtis Boyle, for doing that for us. Much appreciated. Do we have a tech segment, a core dump, a game on issue?
Bruce never came on, I don't think, so I will skip the tech segment. We were kind of going to go through his stuff there, but
okay. Nick Marentes, any updates on anything you're working on that you want to share, or?
No, I don't share.
Okay, you don't share. Okay.
Well, Nick, I was wondering, like, you wanted to do the icon thing. Did you want to make that a game on thing or a tech segment, or just make it a tech segment. Not useful in some way, or what do you want to call it?
Well, tech segment, maybe a core dump.
Okay, well, before we do that, looks like
talk about it.
Terry Steggy was holding up something, so let's go ahead and look at Terry. This might be one of those Agd Vision terminal things.
If I can not drop it here.
Wow.
Okay, so that's the TRS-80 video text. No cartridge slot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's where the RAM badge ended up going because that was your LED to let you know you were online,
Happy
right?
birthday to
And the back ports are
you.
different too, or no?
Yeah, they're limited. And this was a 1980s version.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so this was basically a Coco without the knockouts in it.
No joystick ports. No. So it's only got a cassette port there. Oh, is it a serial port? That's a serial port there, isn't it?
Yeah, 2 telephone. So it didn't have a built-in modem even. You needed a separate modem for it?
Yep, had to have a separate.
What
Just a dumb terminal, basically.
Yeah.
And no cassette.
It's basically the equivalent of the Videotex cartridge that they used to sell from what I remember.
Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly right. This one's 1980 is when this was built. I think the blue version was 79. So technically, yeah, it'd be 40 years.
Wow.
Wow.
Hmm. So they don't have a cassette port. So how do you load? I mean, what is it? Is everything in ROM?
It's a terminal.
Everything's in ROM, is it?
Yeah. It was like logging into CompuServe Delphi, except back then you logged into whatever the agriculture thing was called, and you would just be able to take a look at grain prices or something like that.
Weather.
Okay.
Interesting. All right. How about we do this then? We're going to take another break. I'll take another commercial break. Give everybody about 2 minutes to pause for the cause, drain the main vein if you got to, smoke them if you got them. And then we'll come back and we'll have a core dump segment with Nick Marentes, the lovely and talented Nick Marentes.
Well, no, it's with Curtis.
Oh,
Really.
with Curtis. Well, screw it then.
No, well, Nick's going to run it, and I'll answer any questions or comments on it.
Okay. All right, so let's put this to a vote. Would you like to see a commercial featuring Retro Swag and Coco Forever? Would you like to see one featuring Coco DVDs and the Boomerang? Or would you like to see one featuring the Forest of Doom and the Switcheroo?
Run them all.
Oh, we're going to run.
Ron really has to go.
That's diplomatic. He's going to do number 2.
All right, I'm going to just make an executive decision. We're going to do the Coco Forever one. All right, so we're going to take a commercial break. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. So it's time for potty breaks and all that good stuff, and we'll see you guys in a few.
Hey, have you got your Coco 3 yet? Hi, this is Rick Adams, author of Temple of Ram and Shanghai, and you've tuned into CoCoTALK, the nation's leading live talk show featuring the Tandy color computer.
What's going on, everybody? Original Gamer Stevie Stroh here, and if you're a fan of vintage computing and retro gaming, then you're going to love our retro swag shop at 8bit256.com. There you will find custom designs by Instagram artist Joel M. Adams. You can get I'm a Coconut, CoCoTALK, and other cool video game images on a t-shirt, coffee mug, or mouse pad. So if you love retro, then head on over to the retro swag shop at 8bit256.com today. Tell them the Original Gamer Stevie Stroh sent you.
Let the Radio Shack TRS-80 put the world of color computing into your home. Instant loading program packs turn any color TV into an exciting game arcade. And there's more. The color computer is an educational aid, a home management tool, an up-to-the-minute electronic information service. The programmable, expandable TRS-80 color computer from $399 only at Radio Shack, the biggest name in little computers.
Hi, I'm Bruce Moore, and this is Jacob Moore. Gotcha. And we are the Forest of Doom guys, and the Coco Forever guys, and we are Coco Fest, and we love Stevie Stroh.
Imagine a different world. A world where Tandy Corporation has the upper hand. Where the Coco surpassed all competitors. And all you have to do is travel back in time without making a single mistake.
Coco Forever.
How does it feel? I'm still believing.
You definitely earned this office.
Yes, you're too kind, and thank you.
You want to grab some food before we head back and look at that Alt Reality OS9 module?
It's only 40 years past due, but yeah, sure.
How does it feel?
computer shopping has never been better at Radio Shack. Here's proof. Our new ultra-high-performance 386SX 20 megahertz computer with 85 megabyte hard drive, only $12.99. And it's from Tandy, manufacturer of the best-selling PC compatibles in America. Or get a 286-based Tandy home office computer with color monitor and hard drive, only $899.95. Shop your friendly nearby Radio Shack. Great selection, superior service. Nobody compares.
We now return you to CoCoTALK.
All right, and we are back with more CoCoTALK. We are liver than ever. We are more live than we've ever been before, and we are going to have a core dump segment. A core dump segment is our little technical segment that will deal with hardware, software, discussions, and whatnot and what have you. So before we begin the core dump, because we are a professional show, we've got a little infographic. And what is the topic of this core dump again, so I can properly introduce it?
The subject today is about the new icon, or new version of the icon editor that it will be in the next ease of use beta. This is used to devise icons for G Shell and Multiview. And we've got a couple of volunteers, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, that are going to be helping make some icons for a lot of the VDG-based games. And Nick and Rob Inman have both been testing the program. And I'm hoping to get some reaction from them, what they think of it and that kind of thing. And that's pretty much it.
All right, well, that's a pretty long description, so I'll see if I can come up with a short version of that. Here we go. All right, everybody, it's time for a core dump with Curtis Boyle and Nick Morennes. We're going to be talking about icons and OS 9 and all kinds of other cool stuff. So let's do it. All right, and we're here. So is there going to be screen sharing involved with this?
I can turn on my video, so all I've got is just whatever's coming up on my screen. So
okay,
I'll let Curtis explain what it is. This
is an icon editor. This icon editor has been out since 1991 by the original author Brian, and I used it quite a bit back in the day. Quick background on icons for Multiview. Basically, these are fixed sized, fixed color by default. It's 24 by 24, 4 color. That way you can run it on a 4-color screen or any color screen. The icons look the same. And the original icon editor actually worked pretty good. At some point, Nitrous 9, the scaling routines and stuff changed. So now the original version, if you tried running on a current version of Nitrous 9, the further down the screen you got, the more the mouse cursor drifted out from where it was positioned to where it was clicking. So you could actually like click on a square and it would light up the one above it or something stupid like that. So that was one thing I wanted to fix. And then 2, I wanted it to be able, since we've kind of changed the way Multiview when it first came out, basically was the Wild West. You could pick whatever colors you wanted for whatever palette slots, and everybody did. They picked their own favorite colors, but then everybody's icons looked completely screwed up when they did it on somebody else's machine, because, you know, I had red for color 1 and this guy had purple. So when you started looking at the icons, when you tried to run on somebody else's machine, they look just disgusting and gross. So one thing we standardized on G Shell around the Nitrous 9 2.0, 2.01 era, and still there today, is that the first 4 palette slots have special G Shell copies that are reserved, and they're always darkest to lightest. So color 0 is usually black, color 3 is usually white, and then depending whether you want a grayscale scheme or a color scheme, you can pick them ones in the middle. But it basically goes from dark, light, lighter, bright. And I wanted this to reflect that. So actually what it also does, besides fixing a bunch of little bugs and speeding it up and some other things too, is that it actually will now read in G Shell's palettes as you have them set. It's not hard-coded to grayscale. So if you change the colors, it takes the changed ones, and it'll show the icons as you're editing them or loading them in the colors that you will actually see on your system when you run G Shell. How's that for long-winded?
Yeah, mission accomplished. Okay.
So this is the title screen we're looking at the moment. So, and this is what you see when you first run the super icon. What I'll do here, just to show people what it does, is to create an icon, and I'll cheat because I've already created one. So rather than bore everyone with my drawing, so I go into icon, I'll create, say, a blank one. That's the screen there. Now, I don't know if you can see too well. All I've got is my camera pointing at my screen, and it's a little bit too glary on the screen. But on the right is the fat
grid
bits. Yeah, the grid where you click and light up pixels. Over here is a representation, a one-to-one representation of the icons that you're drawing on. In the middle is the palettes. So you've got 4 colors for icons. So these are the 4 colors, the default colors that you've got available to you. And you basically just pick a color and it highlights down here. I don't know if that's probably a bit hard to see. And then you go into the big matrix here, and of course you can create your icon here.
Okay.
So I'll just do some scribble here, and then I'll load up one that I've already done.
No, that's incredible.
So yeah, as you draw here, it shows you the results over here on the left. Now, there's a few things Curtis is still to do, or rather recommendations that we're going to put forward, is to change the colors a bit so it's a bit more pleasant to look at.
Yeah, right now it's a mix of the original colors that the original author picked, which is a lot of cyan and stuff.
Yeah.
And then some colors that we've already overwritten.
Would
There's
this
more to do to make it a bit easier to see.
Was this safe to say this is using the Puyan palette, or?
The original was somewhat using the Puyan palette, yeah, because magenta and cyan were pretty prominent.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, so
Hey, Nick,
you've got two.
Can you just lower the brightness on the monitor, because it's whiting out the
It's
sensor.
not the monitor. It's the it's the fact that I've got a camera. If I hold the camera, which I have to do it by hand, and then it'll move around. So
right,
I'll give that a
camera's
try.
being overwhelmed by the brightness of the. If you tried that, I don't know if it'll let you on a CMA.
I mean, we can see it good enough. The fact that
just for this demo it'll do. Yep. So I'll hold it by hand and see how we go. And you got 2 pull-down menus. One here, of course, that first one I did before, where you can create a new icon. Whoops, I'm moving the camera. Load an icon, save, change the directory that Multiview is going to be looking at, and renaming, whatever. There's a few disk functions here. Under the Tools menu, once you do create your graphic over here, you've got under Tools, you can shift the entire image to the left or right. So, if the image, you need it moved over left or right, up or down, you can shift the whole thing without having to redraw everything. You can mirror the image, rotate the image, clear it again if you want to start again. Border, what was border again? Curtis?
It takes the current color and then draws a square on the complete outside pixels.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you can do borders. You can fill like a paint, or you can undo your last step if you made a mistake. So all your basic graphic type things. So yesterday I was playing around with it, and of course the OS 9 expert I am, of course, let me see how am I going to use. Here I am, Nick Marenti's using an OS 9 program. So I was a good test. So I started creating an icon, and I'll just load one that I've already done. One of the things that I am assigned to do is to create icons for the games that Curtis is going to.
Oh, that looks really nice.
Update. So I'll just load it in. So it'll load it in. You can see it shows you when you go to load your icons in, it shows you all the ones as a graphical menu. So you can just point and click at the icon that you want to load in, and it loads it in, and it shows you on the left here, old
really
icon,
cool.
new icon, and you draw it here. So this is the King's Quest 3 icon that I just drew up, and I'm trying to keep the grayscale look that I created originally on that groundbreaking trash can icon that's in there. So I'm trying to keep that look with all the icons I do. But the King's Quest ones, for example, they'll all have this crown, and the number on the bottom will change. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, and 4 under the Coco. And then there's of course all the other Sierra games, the Police Quest and Manhunters and Leisure Suit
there's
Larry.
other things like Epic's games like Sub Battle and Rescue.
Yeah.
Cronus.
So
between
between me and Rob Inman there, we'll both be creating icons. So we'll. And that's basically it. It's just it's going to give multi-view a nicer look, where you've got icons that you can click on that look look similar to the game that you're running. Like in this case, a crown for King's Quest. So yeah, but I found it.
You can just change the ones that arrive on Ease of Use 5. If you don't like them, just load it in.
That's right. So you can edit existing ones. So if you don't like one, you can change them and make your own. But I was apart from making icons, my test was to also see if there's any bugs, and I didn't find any major bugs.
You find one that's not really a bug. Nitrous 9, the way it works, if you're trying to open a floppy drive, if you don't have a floppy in it, is that it'll turn the motor on, figure out there's no index pulse, and then patiently wait forever until you put a disk in. Well, Nick tried running that on the SDC, which doesn't have a physical drive. So when he did not have a disk mounted, it would just lock up forever trying to read a disk image. Just doesn't exist, and you can't get to it because it freezes the machine up. So
I didn't
do that.
Yeah, it was asking me, what drive do I want to look at? And I being the OS 9 Luddite that I am, I just popped whatever was in my head. I hit D0, so I typed that in, and of course, that was wrong, and it hung. I said, "There you go. I've only been 5 minutes, and I've crashed it." But so
literally, I was
maybe
the damn thing, and then he sends that back.
Yeah, that's right. So maybe some error checking we can add in there. So it's just little things like that. Overall, the program worked fine. We'll probably do some cosmetic changes to give it that $1 million look. But as a non-OS 9 user and a total Luddite and even a critic, I've actually found it to be quite good. It worked. It didn't crash on me, properly crash on me. And I managed to put together an icon that saved it out. And there it is. So from someone like me, this was a good experience in using OS 9 and multi-view, which I haven't really experienced much in the past. I was able to get in there and do my job and exit out, and was all fairly pain-free.
Wow.
Very
what kind
good.
of experience did you say you had with that? Good.
Shock and awe.
Well, that gives me hope as a OS 9 Luddite as well. So get into it and try it out and experiment too with it.
So Curtis has been working hard to fix the problems of OS 9 for a long time. There's still problems to fix, but you can see he's on the right track.
Gradually getting better.
Yeah,
Curtis is going to be Man of the Year next year.
Yeah.
And the program, when you compare it to the original, the current one now under EOU and everything is actually running faster than what it was. So a lot of the optimizations Curtis has done, we're now seeing benefits in programs that use the OS 9 libraries that he has optimized. We are seeing that benefit in programs. Yeah. So programs that use those same libraries. So yeah,
I will mention too, this program, except for a couple of assembly language routines to do the rotate and stuff, because that's a bit more compute intensive. The entire editor and the loader and saving all that stuff and most of the editing features is all basic 09. The only parts of the ML thing are for doing rotates and shifts.
Yeah, so this is a basic program.
Yes.
So it's pretty easy to modify.
Yep, the source code will be included on Ease of Use. So if you guys want to play with it or just learn how it works, how to do menus and everything else too. Speaking of the speed increase too, I mean the speed increase. I just changed which calls or which graphic functions he was using. Like originally, the person that originally did it, because back in the old days when multiview first came out, doing a paint command was about as fast as drawing a filled box command. And we've optimized the filled box command to be quite a bit faster than paint. Paint's been optimized too, but not to the same extent. I actually have two little short 15-second clips here of the original flood fill version running under Nitrous 9 ease of use, and then what the new version using the bar, if you want to see the speed comparison.
Yeah, if you can share that, go ahead.
Yeah.
I want to say there's 3 words that best summarize this, and those 3 words are
Awesome.
Ease off use.
Now I got to figure out which one's which here. I want that one.
That was a pregnant pause.
Okay, can you guys see that?
Yes.
Yep.
Icon chess.
Okay, so this is the original. Now this is running ease of use beta 5 with all the graphic speedups to the system done, but this is just using the flood fill, the paint version of it, of filling in the grid. So and this is before I started doing color changes and stuff too. So this is closer to the speed the original version.
Chess 09, huh? Okay.
Yeah, this was actually a modem chess game for the.
Oh, neat, because you have the
telephone
and the phone.
Yeah. Okay.
That one, and now I got to switch to share the other one.
Karen's asking if we install a 6309, can we get animated icons?
Actually, Bill and I back in 2000 were fiddling with doing animated icons. At that time, we didn't have to make upgrades too common, so I was going, it's going to eat too much memory. But yeah, you could.
Okay, so is this one going to be faster or slower?
This will be faster. This is the newer version. Now, some of the colors I had started to change, but they weren't the final ones that are even in the current version, and we're still making changes too. So excuse the fact the colors are different.
Oh, yeah, much faster. The grid drew a lot quicker. Okay. Yep, it's faster.
Oh,
yeah, it's literally twice as fast as the original version.
Yeah.
And that's not doing any assembly language. That's just changing it from a paint to a bar command in Basic 9.
Neat.
And there's no clock speed changes.
Yeah, and this
or
one you
anything
can
else.
see that screen that you were doing, Curtis. You could see better what Nick Marenti's camera could not quite capture. Right? There's your kind of cyan background. Here's your 4 color palettes. There's your 24 by 24 grid. So it's a little bit better captured here than the camera, understandably. But no, it looks good.
So that's all the same clock speed too on CPU.
Yep, that's the exact same system on the exact same version of the OS. The only thing that's changed is the Super Egg program itself, a Basic 9 program.
Yeah. So we're seeing just purely code optimizations there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's impressive.
And all those optimizations that you saw there that sped everything up was all the basic stuff. There was none of the assembly routines.
Yeah, that's really impressive.
It's tough being wonderful, isn't it?
I wouldn't know.
Yeah. Every time I say that to my wife, she says exactly the same answer. For 44 years.
Wow. That is something else.
Pretty cool.
Anyway, that's one of the. This is one of the first Basic 9 full-blown apps that I've redone. So this is like a standalone application. I was originally thinking of putting the utilities folder, but it's actually more like a real app. So I'm hoping to see a lot more of these. And also there's going to be a lot more Basic 9 source code stuff for other things too that I've been working on or have worked on in the past. Some are already on the ease of use early beta 5, beta 4 / release 2, whatever you want to call it, right now. So if you guys want to learn how to do some of this stuff, or if you have any questions for me in Discord after looking at some of the source code on there, feel free to ask.
Okay.
Are you kind of impressed how far OS 9 has changed with Nitrous 09? Like from back in the day, if you were told that we're going to do some of the things we're doing now, I mean, is this in the realm of what you thought about?
Some of it is, some of it isn't. I mean, I've been involved with Nitrous 9 since it started in 92. Right. And I was out of the picture for about 10, 15 years. And some of the stuff they did there were like adding drive wire and stuff did impress the heck out of me. The speed ups and stuff, I mean, most of that stuff was done by me, Bill, Wes, and Alan back in the day. So I lived and breathed it as it gradually got faster. One thing I would still like to do, and David and I have talked about doing this, is to do a comparison, like take stock OS 9 level 2, stock multi-view from 87, 88, and run some of these exact same programs and demos to show how far we've come since the original days. Like the icons looked like crap. Everything was dog slow.
Yeah.
Even on a 6809, it's a world of difference. You throw 6
dog slow.
Oh, you probably ran it recently, the original ones, Ron, so you kind of know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's night and day. It's like you upgraded from a 286 to a Pentium type of thing.
Yeah, wow.
Very cool.
Well, we're very thankful for all your time that you spent. I don't know if we say it enough, but
well, Jim Brain's not, because he wants me to get back to work on the CoCoMem Junior. So now I bought myself some time because I'm making these guys do all the icons. Bill's adding a new system.
You're delegating. You're delegating.
Yeah. So Bill's going to be doing that. Once he gets that done, I'll switch back to G Shell, and then I'll get it to be able to launch all these games, which is the next step. But he has to get that part done, and I need some icons to put on there. So I'll be back on the CoCoMem Junior for the next little bit.
Now David O'Connor here, not to take us off this, but David O'Connor has done a miraculous innovation. If you go to his camera, Stevie, I don't know if you know.
You noticed.
What's the innovation?
I tried an experiment.
Oh, you plugged it. You plugged an MPI into an MPI, and is your computer still booting?
Does it work?
It certainly is. It's running there. I'll just turn it off and I'll reboot it, and you'll see it boot. See if we can go back to there. We'll see. We can see the light.
SDC.
The SDC lights just come on.
Hold on, I'm trying to find your camera here.
Oh, hang on, I'll turn it off and I'll wait until you go back onto my camera.
Okay, yeah, okay. You're on. You're spotlighted.
Yep. All right. Now, hopefully I haven't overexposed too much, but we see the SDC light come on there. It's come on. It's booted
All
up.
right, so you've got a multi-pack plugged into a multi-pack, and it booted.
Yep. They said it couldn't be done.
I didn't think that would even work, to be honest.
Now, have you got a third multi-pack that we can try this with?
I wonder if Snyder's done this.
The only problem we do have is the first 3 slots on the bottom multi-pack. Yeah, Coco SDC is in the way, and there's no room to plug anything into the bottom 3, so I've still only got 4 slots.
There's a term for that. It's called C blocking. So what's going on there is they're being cartridge blocked.
What if you put it in the first one?
Don't try this at home.
Yeah,
if you put it in the first one, it would be better.
Yeah, if you put it in the first slot, then you'd have the slots behind it.
Yeah. So shut it down again and put it in slot 1.
Yeah.
Except
that would
his
work.
feet on the bottom.
Switch it beside there.
Is professional. Do not try this at home.
Oh, except there is a stand on the bottom of the Mega Mini MPI, and that would block a couple of the ports.
And I like the effect you've got there with all the smoke billowing out the back of it now.
The other thing I will have to do, I'll have to try running. I haven't got it plugged in here, but now because these have got the OPL3 chip in them, each one of these has got.
Oh, you've got 2 chips now.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to run Ed's chip tunes player and see if it plays out of both outputs at the same time or not.
Interesting.
Now, his OPL3 is what, a 16 voice chip?
I don't know. Polyphony, I'm not sure.
18. You can do 16 out of each side that way, right?
32 voice.
You can do 16 stereo voices on each side if you could get both to run.
Or quadraphonic audio if you could access them separately. So
that's right, yeah, because it's stereo too. Yeah, you could do surround sound on a CoCo.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now I'm intrigued.
Now, credit where this idea came from our executive producer Ron Delvaux. Let's give credit where credit is due.
That's right.
And all the work that Curtis has done on ease of use has been overshadowed by
completely.
Yes.
Completely upstaged.
Loading the texture program off the SDC. The light's on now and it's running.
Wow. An SDC plug.
Work.
An SDC plugged into an SDC. It's SDC Inception. Or MPI Inception. MPI plugged into an MPI. Okay.
So I've technically got a 7-slot, if I can physically access them all. There's 7 slots there.
Not bad.
David could run 28 floppies off that.
David the lad envy.
Yes.
So you have
I'm much happier breaking
this
stuff.
Is groundbreaking.
Yeah, I think that's Bruce Moore.
Something will break.
Yeah, I was just going to say I was hoping it wasn't going to be a MPI breaking exercise.
You do turn the power off on the MPI before you plug them together, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But they both have to have power, right?
Yeah, I've got power plugged into both of them. So they do need power to work. So I assume you'd need power plugged into both. So they're both plugged in.
We have a request to add more cartridges.
Plug them all up. Fill them up.
Oh, what have I got? I've got my chest cartridge floating around somewhere.
If you do that, see if your lights dim when you turn the Coco.
Just so we know, what's the Australian number for 911?
It's upside down, so it'd be 119.
We can call them for you. Go ahead. Go.
Yeah, 000.
116, yeah, upside down, right?
yeah, right.
Well, I guess the color computer just thinks there's assigned it to the next 4 slots because it can do up to 16.
I think the problem is that the CoCo's only going to be able to access the 4 slots in the first MPI. The second one doesn't know that there's an additional register to access more.
No, he's accessing the STC from the second.
Well, but I think they're both probably hard set to slot 4. So.
I see what you're saying.
Hardware.
You can. Yeah. There's a switch on the side. I've got it set to slot 4 on both of them. So. I don't know
you
whether
may not be able to software select.
Yeah, you can software select the first one. I don't think you can do the second one. Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, the software selector would be for the first one, because the first MPI would filter out that before it gets to the other devices, I think.
So let me try. I'll just turn it off. I'll just plug the SDC into slot 2, and I'll change that on the switch.
I haven't seen Bruce Moore this excited.
I didn't see you turn the power off.
Oh, all I did was unplug the cartridge. I don't need to unplug the power when I do that.
You do.
I turned the power off to the computer.
You should be unplugging the power to your multi-pack when you plug and unplug your cartridges.
Yeah, you are always
really? Okay.
Yeah.
All devices.
That's why I asked before if you turn the power off on the multi-pack first.
Okay, no, I've actually never ever done that.
You kind of lucky.
Okay, all right. All right, let's.
Yeah, since you're using 2, you would have to
send you my address to post that multi-pack to me once it blows up.
Jeez.
All right, well, it's still working. I just turned it on. The lights come on. So, ooh. Uh-oh. Doing a weird thing there.
Something turned green.
I have to go.
Something turned green just before you turned it off.
Let me try that again. No, it's come up. Yeah, that's not good. So,
Yeah,
you might
kill the power and
kill the power on both your multi-packs and switch it back to slot 4.
Yeah, on both.
Yeah, I'll do that. And I'll try that again. Uh-oh.
It's all
someone's going to need some repairs.
Okay.
Good with the soldering iron. You may need it.
No, it's still doing it. Okay. All right. Let's just try.
Take out the multi-pack.
So unplug the power from the multi-packs and then just go back to the straight.
I'll just board where it was when it was working.
Yeah.
Aboard.
I would suggest.
I would take it out. Yeah.
You know the thing in the beginning that when you start the show and it talks about all the things that we might do bad?
Yeah.
Yeah. You ought to add in some hardware.
It's working.
Mods that may cause blue smoke.
Yes. Yeah. If you accidentally blow up your CoCo during the production of this show, we're sorry.
Play David Ladd's clip.
Should we have a disclaimer notice?
Yeah, we should. Whatever you do, don't follow any hardware device.
That's right.
We just put a thing on the front that says, "People do not try this at home."
Yes.
David is
this man is a professional.
David is single and has no wife, and the loss of his equipment
on his face is just coincidence.
It's working. Yeah, it works when I put it back into slot 1. So it doesn't like having it plugged into slot 2 by the looks of it.
So the slot 4 addresses are being shared. Yeah. Slot 4 is the last one, right? So.
So I've changed it to slot 3 and it didn't like slot 3.
Yeah, no. 4 is for the controller anyway, yeah.
Yeah, yep.
CoCoTALK is not responsible for any soldering tips provided by L. Curtis Boyle. So
that's right.
What makes you think I'd ever try to give soldering tips?
I did learn something very valuable there, as I didn't realize that I actually had to disconnect.
Absolutely.
It's safer.
Yeah.
I knew with the computer, you turn the computer off and you can't hot plug, program packs in a computer, but I didn't realize you actually had to disconnect power from the.
Well, you have a live bus there.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's
It's cool to put your Coco stuff into a central turn off and turn on thing.
Like a power strip. A power strip. Yeah.
That's what.
Yep.
And that concludes our what was I going to say?
What not to do.
Why did David do that? That's what I was
CoCoTALK, breaking the envelope.
Yes.
I'd be the one that's saying that afterwards if I broke it up. Going, why did I do that?
Yeah. We've got a sound bite for that. Hold on, let me share my sound right now.
Next week I will plug in all 5 of my multi-packs.
Yeah. All right. So, just in case it blew up, we could have played this sound bite right here.
Tell me why did Tandy do that?
Why did David do that?
Usually we're talking about David Ladd when we say that.
Yes.
Now we've got 2 Davids that like breaking things. So.
David Inception. What have we learned today? We've learned don't take suggestions from Ron Delvaux.
Hey, I do have a question for you guys. When I'm changing graphics mode on the Coco 3, if I'm in normal text mode, like the boot screen that comes up, the screen is a certain size. And then when it's loaded, when I first load this demo, it's the aspect ratio in the picture is actually the wrong size. Now, if I unplug the composite signal and then plug it back in again, it's actually the correct size. See, I changed size there.
Yeah,
like there's a sync issue with the signal or something, and it has to reset the sync signal or something to the TV.
Is that RGB, the other setting you had?
No, I'm running composite output there. That's a composite output out of the back of the Coco. Yeah, and it's not just that TV. I've plugged it into a professional Sony monitor and it does exactly the same thing.
I think part of it's the fact that the composite is borderline standard, like within specs.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of guessing. It was something.
The Coco is notoriously bad for being right on the edge of actually working.
Yeah. I found that out when I was doing my composite mod design for the Coco. It was the sync pulses were all over the place.
And that was a question James Jones had earlier. What is a proper pronunciation of composite or composite, right? So tomato. Seems like most non-Americans like to say composite. Whereas in America we say composite.
Composite is what I used to.
English.
My main qualifications actually in electronics were originally as a radio tradesman, TV repair tech, and so we worked on repairing these things all day. And everybody in the industry here in Australia pronounces it composite. When I first heard it pronounced composite, I thought, oh, what's that?
What is that?
Show us your fingers. How many times have you tested the flyback with your finger?
Too many, more than I'd like.
Next week's show, we'll have David put his tongue on the flyback lead.
Wow.
Or 27,000 volts on a tongue.
That segment will be titled "David Gets His Afro."
Yes. This week on Stupid Human Tricks.
If you'd like to see these stupid things, please contribute to.
Yes, right. we need a new Patreon account for medical expenses.
I think we need a segment called "Don't Try This at Home."
Yes,
we should have a "Don't Try This at Home" segment.
Lord. Cool. So we've learned that we can plug a multi-pack into a multi-pack. We've doubled up our multi-packness.
And I've learned how not to I've learned how not to blow up my multi-pack.
Yeah.
Well, that was a good core dump.
Very good. Very good.
Well, plus, what's cool is you have your CPU buffered, so just in case.
That's right. With the 2 meg, you got a little bit of bufferization going on there. So.
Yep.
Thanks to Richard.
Very cool. All right. So we put a fork in the core dump.
I think
so. Almost put a fork in those multi-packs.
Yeah. All right. So this concludes another.
Just stand in the water there, would you? And try.
There's a puddle beneath me.
2.5 hours. 2.5 hours of virtually next to no content without any substance.
Ever than ever.
We still have 32 live viewers. Thank you all, 32 of you being here right now.
Thank you. Yes, you're too kind. Thank you.
So yeah, this is our first episode where we are actually live streaming audio. The audio version of this podcast can be heard on Spreaker Live, and the replays will be available too. When you look for CoCoTALK now, wherever free podcasts are sold, you may see one or two versions of CoCoTALK available. The new version will be called CoCoTALK Live, and will have an updated logo with the word live on it. This will let you know that you're seeing the new feeds, including our live audio podcast. The old feed is still going to exist because we're going to use that to continue to feed iTunes. So for those who want to watch the video replays of these shows and download them to your device to save bandwidth, they will still be available on iTunes. But that one will show up with the term CoCoTALK Replay. So you're going to see two different feeds. One will say CoCoTALK Live, one will say CoCoTALK Replay. And the replay account is going to be mostly just for an iTunes video podcast feed. And hopefully we'll get these things sorted out, and we'll communicate these changes as they move forward. This is all breaking stuff right now. But yeah, we are live on Spreaker. And and it's live and interactive. So if you're watching us on the web on Spreaker, or if you have the Spreaker app and you're listening, you can live chat with us interactively as you listen, just like the people who are watching us on YouTube can. So
now, I noticed you have a clock there that's on like military time. Do we have an app for our Cocos to switch it to, regular time?
Well, this is coming from my real-time clock chip on my Coco, actually. So, no, I'm kidding. So
does that mean if the audience wants to talk us of trying stupid stuff, they're more than welcome to?
Well, they're welcome to ask. Doesn't mean we have to actually do it.
Like plugging an MPI into another, they could have said, "Don't do that."
That's possible.
Okay.
That's absolutely possible.
I think it's important to note that liver sales have gone up 200% today.
Yeah, we are more liver than ever. Okay, Nimble says, I picked up a TP10 printer, and I've been wondering how to hook it up to a modern computer. I really love that printer. It is serial, right? So you would just need to get a
USB to serial?
A box of
USB to serial might work.
Well, so what's the output though? Would like one of the Cloud9 cables that's used for drive wire work, where it's got a CoCo serial port on one side and a DB9 on the other?
The answer is yes. Yes.
I think the baud rate has something to do with it too. Doesn't it need?
Yeah,
600.
600 by default when you turn it on, but you can change up the poke up to
okay.
90.
What is the TP? I know we called that the toilet paper printer, but
thermal.
It's thermal. Now is that a standard roll that you can still buy today? Because he's asking that the paper in the right size might not be easy to get.
I bought fax paper, and you can cut it to size and put it right in there, and it'll work.
Okay, so a roll of fax paper would work, and you have to use like one of those cutting blade things, like
guillotine,
hacksaw.
I use kitchen serrated knife.
Oh, really? Okay,
that's sandpaper.
Guillotine for those who have one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we think it might be 300 baud. He's asking. Do you know what the baud rate of what was the standard?
The Coco defaulted to 600 baud.
600 baud. Okay.
Yeah.
600 baud. Okay.
It doesn't do graphics characters.
It just does ASCII text, probably all caps.
Hello world, and that's about it.
Okay.
Well, I could use it like a receipt printer. In fact, you might even be able to find the right size rolls for some of the receipt printers that are still thermal based.
Yeah,
possible.
Yeah, they do make normal thermal receipt printers that might work.
I bought a box of 12 rolls that are long, and if you cut them in half, they're the right size.
Okay, so normal 8.5 by 11. If you cut the 11-inch roll in half, then that he's saying it's 4 1/4 1/8 inch, 4 1/8 inch.
You can get the 58 millimeter and 80 millimeter paper at Walmart.
We don't use those millimeter things.
Not in America.
Well, then that's your problem.
No problem at all. We
Interesting.
went to the moon without it.
So
hey, Ron.
Yeah.
I've got a quick update from what we were talking about earlier. I have the grandfather of the video text.
Oh yeah, the 210 is it or what
It's
is
actually got a really weird catalog number. 75-1001.
Wow, that's the TRS-80 teletype, huh? Where you had the acoustic modem and.
Now listen, back in 1984 when I went to the
wow
Rainbow Fest, somebody put a CoCo in one of those.
Really?
Neat.
Yes.
Wow, I like the keyboard.
So that's the modem built into the lid.
Portable
there,
data terminal. It's extremely portable. You can see how portable it is.
It's got the modem. It's got a printer and a keyboard all in one.
Why did Tandy do this? Run it.
That's, I like how they designed the modem into the lid.
Anyway, I just wanted to update. I had that close to the video text. Thought I would share that for you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. What year did that come out?
I think that was 78, I think's what I was reading.
Very
so
cool.
the Model 100 basically replaced that and the video text.
When you think about it, yeah.
What was the WP 100 or whatever? It was black. That was a word processor. Wasn't it? Yeah, that came out after the Model 100 102, right?
Yep, I've got one of those too.
Do you have one?
Okay, Pete Willard is saying you can get 48 rolls of 4 1/8 inch on eBay for $80. So almost 50 rolls for $80. So that's less than 50 cents a roll. Not bad.
No, it's $1.
Or $2 a roll. I can't do the math. About $2 a roll. There you go. Doing math.
What's really interesting is after you print on the TP10 and then tear it off, it's in a rolled position, which is very easy to read.
Oh yeah, because it kind of curls up from the memory of being
So you just push it on the table and flatten it out.
Yeah, it's kind of like the original faxes. When faxes came off of thermal paper too, they would come off the machine and then just instantly curl up again.
Yeah, especially at the end of a roll.
Yeah.
And don't leave it on the dash of your car.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It
That's the encrypted version. Then.
Yeah, I mean that's even that even happens when you when I buy a pizza and I have that little thermal receipt and it's sitting on top of the box as I'm driving home. By the time I get home, the receipt's freaking brown from the heat of the box. You know, so
I needed that receipt.
I was gonna claim this pizza on my taxes. Now how am I? Now what am I gonna do?
One time I had to have a reclaimed or whatever. And so I took a picture of it and then put it on my software like Paint Shop Pro, and I played with it, and I was able to get the text back just by manipulating the.
Yep. Play with levels.
Did you fiddle the nibbles?
Yes.
Okay. So unfortunately, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be a novelty. I'm not sure how often he would print to that printer, but the fact that you've got to buy 40 rolls to get it, I don't think he's going to go through 40 rolls of paper on there unless he's going to open up a business and he's going to be printing receipts like mad.
Well, how many people here have a TP10 we could share?
Yeah.
Well,
okay. Yeah, we can get everybody to chip in on that, right? So yeah, open up a secondary market. Hey, I've got all these. Who needs a roll, right? So just sell them out.
Boomerang paper, or
yeah. I mean, it is called TP, right? So in a pinch, you could tear some off and take care of your bum if you had to.
It's smooth.
If you have a paper, it'll turn black, so you'll know you have to go to the doctor.
Ouch!
Oh, all right.
Don't need the sun to make it brown.
All right. Well, going on 2 hours and 40 minutes. Have we done enough for one show? The more we need to talk about. Anybody have anything else you guys want to talk about today?
So you can read that military time like that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep, it's 16:30. Anyone? Have we talked enough for one day? Is this enough Coco talk for one day?
Is David Ladd here?
Is David Ladd?
Oh. So we can't talk about floppies, so it's probably going to end short then. Huh?
Okay. But we still got 30 people holding out strong on YouTube. A combined 33. So somewhere else, somebody's watching us on one of the other platforms, either on Twitter through our Periscope feed, or possibly on Twitch or Mixer or somewhere else. So we've got 33 live viewers. Yes, Ron.
I got to ask you, you got your Model 1000 now.
Tandy 1000,
have you been
yes.
able to, have you been playing with it? Have you been, exercising the hard drive on it, or does it have one?
It's right behind me. I haven't messed with it that much since CoCoFest.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, we have a question from Gyrus the Virus. I have a Pi Top Creed with Raspberry Pi 3 and downloaded an image that's supposed to emulate the Coco 3. The screen comes out black. Any recommendations on Coco Pi 3 emulator?
Send them to the site.
Well, there is. So the thing with the Coco Pi image is the ROMs are not part of the image, so you have to download the ROMs and copy them to it. Ron Klein, who's maintaining that project now, has just recently released a YouTube video on that. So what I would suggest, what is the name again? The name was it just went off my screen. Gyrus the Virus. So yeah, I would say if you're not a member of the Facebook group, check out the Facebook group and look for Ron Klein on there and send him a message. If you need to know how to get to the Facebook group, you could search for TRS-80 Color Computer on Facebook, or there would actually be a link to that on our website, imacoconut.com, imacoconut.com, and reach out to Ron Klein. He could probably answer your questions the best, and he has a YouTube video. I just don't know what the link is right now to that. All right, cool. No, that was a question that just came in. Anyone else? Anything else we need to say before we put a fork in this episode?
Well, what did Curtis say about the CGP 115?
I don't know. Curtis, what did you say about the CGP 115? You're muted.
The guy was asking about the TP10 there. I mean, it's a narrow printer, right? Dwayne, if you remember, he's been on the show briefly. We've met him before. He had a CGP 115, which was the same size paper roughly, but it was a 4-color pens that used to come out and draw. And what he used to do for book reports and stuff is he'd make 2 columns for his book report or his essay or whatever, and then he would take those, tape them onto a sheet of 8.5 by 11, Xerox that, then he'd get a 2-column, on one page with really fine detail because it literally draws characters. It wasn't dot matrix. So you could even do like 160 columns with the text in 2 columns on a regular size sheet that was fairly legible.
Cool.
Boring, I know.
Okay.
Those were great printers. I can't find pens anymore for them, but I really like that printer.
That's amazing. I mean, to me, printing was something I was never interested in ever. Even back in the day, I was not interested in producing paper. But it was part of the retro hobby. There are people who are interested in collecting those like anything else. I am just as uninterested in vintage printers now as I was back then. But,
that Coco Do commercial has a DMP 110 in it.
Yeah.
Like I have. And that printer worked its butt off back in the day because I did all invoices with it. And I even had like triplicate with, back in the day we had carbon.
Oh yeah, the multi-part forms, like your white, yellow, pink.
If you ran out of ink, I had just put the carbon, triplicate in there, and you didn't even have to have ink,
right?
Because you got 2 copies from the 3,
right?
And it worked fine.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I had a CGP 220, the one that Brian Weezer was showing the manual for earlier, the full-size 8.5 by 11 color inkjet, and that's what I used to do reports for high school and I think my first year university.
Cool.
So David Lord's asking, is there an update on Cosmic Aliens? And there's not an update because I've just been too lazy to work on it. I like playing games, but making games is still kind of like work, and I'm just usually not a big fan of work. I like play more than I like work.
This is Tell Us the Truth corner of
This
our
is
show.
Yes. So I appreciate you asking, David Lord. And here's the thing: we've been talking about inspiration, and Nick Marota's working on stuff. Everybody's, Rob Inman's jumping into Nitrous 9, so people are getting inspired to do things. I really should be more inspired to work on my own game, but honestly, I'm just lazy. I mean, and in my head, I know what I need to do. I know what all the steps are. I've kind of pre-planned and pre-thought of most of the logic. But now having to sit down and do it, that's the part that I don't look forward to. The actual manual labor part of typing in and testing and that kind of stuff. So it's a bad habit of mine. I'm lazy.
So 3 months from now, you can not have to worry about.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, though.
Set it up now.
But we're talking about being inspired. We're talking about how Nick Marotta is working on a basic program too. So maybe later on tonight, we could do a live stream of just live coding, where we could all be working on a project and share screens and share ideas and inspire each other to work on some of our own software. Because honestly, if it's up to me to do it, it's not getting done. So maybe instead of doing it after dark tonight, we can do a live coding without a net. Anybody up for that?
If I didn't have commitments this evening, I'd be definitely up for it.
Nick Marotta, you up for doing some basic programming on the Coco together, you and me?
I wouldn't mind working on it a little more tonight.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I think it'd be interesting, pure basic, trying basic in RSB, and also converting some simple basic routines into basic 09.
Okay. Well,
Perhaps
you're
Curtis
welcome to do all that crap. I'm just going to stick on normal disk extended color basic. But yeah, everybody can share their screen and show off what they're doing. I'll just work on my, hashing out some of my aliens code in my current text version, So if you want to do that and you want to, kind of annotate what you're doing, Rob, or maybe even screen share what you're doing from time to time, that's fine. I could tell you I won't be doing that, but I would like to see you doing it.
Nick Marotta is exploring basic 09.
Okay, so yeah, Nick Marotta might be interested in that.
He's doing basic.
No, right now it's extended color basic. Eventually I'll re-implement it in basic 09. It'll be a re-implementation because it'll be totally different. But I'm just getting my feet wet with color basic again right now because I haven't coded anything for the Coco in 30 years. So
yeah.
And Stevie, did you see 60's comment?
Yeah, it says you need to get an intern to do that trivial actual typing the thing in for you. Yeah.
This all started a week ago when I was doing the waterfall. When I did the first version, and then we had all these people come in on the live show and offer suggestions, and wow, that's good, and how do you do that? It became a big community thing.
Yeah, so maybe we could crowdsource some of our coding tonight.
And that was the purpose of it.
The purpose of it, and that's why I released an updated version 2 or whatever I called it.
Oh, I haven't seen version 2. Okay, so we'll try that too. Maybe we'll do some live streaming of Waterfall 2. As well.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was a community thing, and it inspired all these other people to do things. I think Nick Marotta is only starting that because of the whole waterfall thing as well. So
yeah,
all right.
That's another one I've got to try out this week. I've got I've got a whole ton of Nick Marenti's software to try out this week. So
yeah, that's right.
So I don't have any fancy machine language or subroutines or anything like that. I'm not.
Don't
pure
need
basic.
that straight away. Yeah.
Well, I'm determined to port the entire Nick Marenti's library to OS 9.
Have at her, man.
Yeah.
Except for there's about.
I mean, it is inspirational, and in a way, it's kind of we got to hold each other accountable too, because I'm not motivated. I am not motivated to work on my own projects. This is true on the Coco. This is true for anything in life. So it's like when it comes to work, I'm not a big fan of work. I'm just lazy. So maybe
that's not entirely true, though. I mean, because you actually, when you did the first run of Cosmic Aliens, you plowed into that and got the first version done pretty well straight through.
Yeah. And
you're kind of like I used to be, where you get a burst where you felt inspired enough to do it, and then after a couple weeks, it's like, oh, I'm sick of this.
Yeah. So
I'd like to get Coco Max to play music while I draw.
Coco Max?
You pick a color and you start drawing and stuff, and it's playing music, and then you pick another
that's
color.
easy. Ron, I can tell you how to do that already. Just put a cassette player in, and then audio on.
Audio one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can relate in a sort of way to what you're saying there, Stevie, about motivation. Although my problem isn't so much the motivation to work on my project; it's that I keep on saying yes to everybody else's repairs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, then you're all clogged up.
Electronic people say, "Oh, can you fix this for me? Can you fix?" I've got a room full of analog synthesizers next door that I've got to fix for friends and other bits and pieces. And each week we do another episode of CoCoTALK, and I'm thinking, saying I'm going to show up something with the modular synthesizer next week, and then it's it'll be the week after that, and but because I keep on saying yes to everybody else's project and never get time to do my own. So
Inspiration and motivation, yeah, they're the things you've got to master first to be able to stay motivated on a project. And well, I do it by, if I get tired of a project, I just find something else to do for a while, just a bit of a break.
A cheap knockoff.
Come back. You can write a cheap knockoff and then come back. As long as you don't let that become your main project. It was only a 1 week interlude.
The other thing is too is that sometimes you realize that once you get into the project front, if you're going, this isn't really turning my crank. Like I'm not getting inspired anymore. But and you drop the project. I mean, Nick's had several games that he showed us, the early prototype stuff that he never completed. I have tons of stuff that I've started. Just either gave up for technical reasons or gave up because it got boring or whatever. So don't feel bad if you have to drop a project because it's just not turning your crank. Feel free to release it publicly so if somebody else has that itch to scratch that they could finish it.
All right.
Yeah.
If you say turning your crank one more time, Curtis.
I'm turning your crank, am I?
You know what really turns my crank?
Well, don't have David Ladd answer that.
Does crikey mean something like turning the crank, or
crikey?
Not really. No, it's just a thing of like a wow or a what on earth. Or,
here we go.
I thought cranky meant angry or something.
No,
cranky.
We hear.
Crikey! Sorry.
Speaking of crikey, let's hear Nick Marionettes talk about electricity real quick. We need a good crikey here. Hold on 1 second.
Nick Marionettes on electricity.
Crikey! Electricity's a fad. The biggest market is with open flame.
Brought to you by Nitrous 9, Ease of Use Edition. Hashtag OS9 Forever.
Crikey! I'll never get enough of hearing Nick Marionettes say crikey.
I'm amazed you found some idiot to do the voice.
Yeah. You can get people to read anything these days.
Okay.
Yeah, but you don't tell me what it's for. Here, read this.
Sign this.
All right, so we're going
to answer your question, Ron. Basically, crikey is basically an expression that means like, oh my goodness, or something like that, or oh wow,
or like geez,
shock or surprise, or something like that. Yeah.
And no one really says it anymore. I think that was a Steve Irwin thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And then when he got stabbed by that animal.
Yeah, stingray.
Yeah, that was a real crikey then.
Yeah.
Well, then it became WTF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Wallaby.
All right. So here's what we're gonna do. It is almost 5 p.m. my Florida time right now. We're gonna put a fork in this episode. We're gonna agree to possibly get back together in maybe 3 hours, 8 p.m. our time. Does that work for those who want to code, or do you need more time? You need a little bit more time to dinner and real life stuff?
No.
All right, we're going to tentatively say we'll be back around 8 p.m., no later than 9 p.m. tonight for live coding without a net. We're going to inspire each other. We will collaborate. We'll share. We'll work on stuff.
That new gizmo.
Do we need? I don't know that this would make the most sense to live audio, the coding that you can't see. So we probably won't. We probably won't live audio podcast this, but we will live stream it.
You're discriminating a certain portion of our population.
Well,
they're going to come and try and do us.
If I talk real quiet, they won't know that we're doing that now. Okay, shh. So
all they're going to hear is a bunch of clickety clacks.
Yeah, clickety clack.
It sounds like you're listening to David on Discord.
Right. So yeah.
Like me coding.
Okay. So and hopefully in about 3 hours we'll be back with some crikey coding. And we'll screen share, we'll idea share, and we'll just work on stuff. And hopefully, in a word, to me, it's discipline. I'm very undisciplined. So you talk about motivation and inspiration; those are all great words. But at the end of the day, there needs to be a level of discipline to stay committed to a project, and that's something.
That's the kind of guy we need on this show.
A guy with discipline?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Absolutely.
Anyone?
Boy, did you pick the wrong show. Did you see Ken Make It's comment?
What's that? What he said he's going to make a
Rob,
new game?
no hints. I want to build the anticipantment.
A new word.
Yes. All right, we're going to put a fork in this. I'm going to run the closing credits, and then we'll have some last-minute thoughts. So we'll be right back after the CoCoTALK outro, which now I have to find. I've got way too many things on here to...
It's over there. See it?
Outro. There we go. All right, I'm going to click on the outro. We'll be back in just a minute here, folks. This concludes another episode of CoCoTALK, the world's leading live talk show featuring the Tandy Color Computer. For all things CoCoTALK, visit us on the web at CoCoTALK.live. We'd love to hear from you. Send feedback, suggestions, even segments via email to CoCoTALK@CoCoTALK.live.
CoCoTALK is rocking the 8-bit world, keeping the Tandy flame alive. We may be mocked, but we'll never stop, 'cause CoCoTALK is rocking the 8-bit world.
Consider supporting the show with a purchase of merchandise from our retro swag shop at 8bit256.com. If you'd like to become a patron of the show, click the Patreon link at our website at CoCoTALK.live.
CoCoTALK is rocking the 8-bit world, keeping the Tandy flame alive. We may be mocked, but we'll never stop, 'cause CoCoTALK is rocking the 8-bit world.
CoCoTALK would not exist without the community, its cast, crew, and contributors. Thanks go to Curtis Boyle, David Ladd, Mark Overholzer, Grant Leedy, Bruce Moore, Nick Marentes, Ron Delvaux, Rick Adams, Jason Reicher, Richard Lorbieski, Jim Brain, Tom C., Rob Inman, Mark Bosley, Brian Joyce, Ken Reicher, David O'Connor, Brian Weasler, Terry Steggy, Nick Marotta, John Strong, and many more, especially to Steve Bjork for production suggestions and James Differendaffer for making my head explode. Please help support the CoCo community by visiting some of its various contributors. A list of resources is available at imacoconut.com. That's IMACOCONUT.com. The CoCoTALK theme song is copyright 2008 by D. Bruce Moore and Greg Sheeler. Mixed, mastered, and produced by D. Bruce Moore. All right, and we are back. And Erico was asking us if how do you join Zoom? The link to join us on Zoom is on our Discord server. I've just posted the Zoom link. I'm also going to be posting the Discord link. So for those of you who want to take part in our daily conversations on how we talk about the CoCo and how we share information about the CoCo, we're on Discord all the time. So Discord's got a lot of different channels where you can share information. And we also have live chats. We're talking like on a group phone call throughout the evenings. And so Discord is kind of how we stay together and stay in touch all throughout the week.
Plus, you can share text, you can share programs, you can share screenshots and all kinds of things too. So it's quite handy for collaboration.
Yeah. So join us on Discord, Erico. I'm not sure if it's Erico or Erico. I'm not sure if I'm putting the right emphasis on the proper syllable there.
Composite. Same.
Yeah, composite.
Potato.
So yeah, join us, and then you can join us on Zoom. And once you're in Zoom, you can screen share, all that good stuff. You have to install the Zoom client on your computer, but it is also cross-platform, so you could be on Mac or Windows or Linux, whatever your flavor is. RS-DOS, OS9. There's a client for everything.
Phones.
Yeah.
Some phones.
Yep. All right, so we're going to put a fork in this. Anybody have any parting thoughts? Anything to say to our 30-some-odd people who have been with us all day? I obviously want to just say...
thank you. Yes, you're too kind. And thank you.
Happy birthday to the video text machine, huh?
Erico. Okay, well, when you join us, you can say Eriko. I'm not sure how to say it. Join us. Eriko. Eriko. Okay, like Jericho. Okay. All right, parting thoughts. Words of wisdom.
I'd like to say I got a high score on Neutroid 2.015. I just started the game, let it run on its own, and I got a score, so I'm counting that.
Okay. Excellent.
So it's really an easy game so far.
So how hard can it be? Yeah.
But
okay.
What is it? Anyway, I can't figure out that.
Curtis Boyle, parting thoughts.
I might actually make your little programming thing tonight for a bit.
Okay, we definitely like your input. David O'Connor from Australia, parting thoughts.
Always power off your Mega Mini before you unplug it.
Before you plug another Mega Mini into it.
Friends don't let friends plug multi-packs into multi-packs without first depowering them. Yes.
Not try anything you see at home.
That's right. Ron Delvaux, parting thoughts.
Yeah, I'd have none except for the birthday thing, you know.
Birthday of the
happy
of the video text. Yes. Terry Steggy, parting thoughts.
Yeah, I think the programming thing sounds like a great idea tonight.
Okay. We'll try to not have any vulgar comments during this programming thing. Mark,
can I have adult beverages?
We can. If you're an adult and you'd like to have one, feel free. Hiccup. Mark Bosley, parting thoughts.
Oh, my thoughts have parted.
Much like the Red Sea.
That's parted with a P.
Yes. So what about any parting thoughts from you?
No, I'm good. I'm going to enter my name in a high score, and that'll be it for me.
Okay, Nick.
Did you join us on the programming thing tonight there, Nick?
I think so. I can't screen share, though, unless I get my... I had a weird problem with VCC yesterday, and a name is giving grief.
Oh, well, you could point your camera at your Coco.
I was doing it old school, like Nick Marentes.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Quoting on the hardware.
Nick Marentes, parting thoughts?
EOU is the best thing to happen to Nitrous 9.
There you go.
That's a pretty low bar to set, though, isn't it?
Where's the real Nick Marentes? What I want to know.
Grant Leedy, you still with us? Is Greg here?
Yes, I'm still here. Is this damn show over yet?
Sounds like he's in the elevator.
And any parting thoughts, Grant Leedy?
No, great show, and I hope to see everybody here later this evening.
Okay. And Rob Inman, you have the final word.
Well, the final word is tonight. If Ron Delvaux tells you to plug something into Uranus, do not listen.
I won't. I'm not a programmer. I may not be there.
Well, you should learn there, Ron. Just come and learn some stuff.
I have no. It's like climbing Mount Everest. I just don't have the drive to do that.
Okay. Well, you can cheer us on or heckle if you'd like. So.
Well, what you're gonna say, you're gonna have somebody. I'm gonna speak up and say, you know what, it'd be cool if you did this, and somebody's gonna say, it'd be cool if you pushed the off button.
Ron, you're a bit of a graphic artist too, aren't you?
Huh?
You're a bit of a graphic artist, aren't you?
Yeah, that's it. But
well, you should help us design some icons then.
Yeah, I could.
You send an icon editor. Put on the work. He's got nothing to do.
It's in the latest version that I have to download then?
No, I'll have to send that to you specially. It's a
okay.
preview of the next version.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm going to press the button. I want to thank everybody who's watched us live today, who's been part of our live video feed. I'm not sure how many people were listening live because I have no way to see those numbers other than the few people that have chatted, which has mostly been ourselves. So Nick Marotta, myself, and Terry Steggy were live chatting on the Spreaker live audio podcast feed. Hopefully more people will join us audibly live in the future as the word gets out. So just going back to who's been in the live chat. James Jones has been here. Mark B has been here. Curtis Boyle, Terry Steggy, Rob Inman has been here. Eric Canales, Retro Innovations, Dave's Hobbies, Tom C. from Jersey, Al Hartman from Jersey, Paul Fiscarelli stopped by and said, yo, how's it going over there? David Lord, GE Galaxy Emperor, Retro Innovations, Jim Brain has been here. Rob Inman, Eric Canales, lots of people. Ken Reichard, Paul Thayer, Curtis Boyle, Karen Anscombe 60, Joe Burnett has been here. It's hard to scroll through all these names. I'm going to miss a few. Minico has been here. James Jones, Nick Marotta, Al Hartman, James Jones, Ken Reichert can make it. Bill Noble has been here. Vocal Studio, that's Bruce Moore. Lots of people in the live chat. If I missed your name, I do apologize, but you know you're there. We know you're there. We appreciate you hanging out with us for 3 hours today. And hopefully you'll join us again tonight and on a future episode of CoCoTALK. We are pressing the button in 3 Mississippi. Say goodbye, everybody. 2 Mississippi.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, 1 Mississippi.
Bye, everybody.
And here we go. Now I've got to press 2 buttons. I've got to stop streaming on the video.